Over 26. This is the
This is the Brunch Club.
Over 26. Welcome back to
The mics are closed.
Now, when you watch it, you'll understand.
What up? Hey, bro, nimeona mkono kumbe nimekalia. But you can just keep it.
What is not out?
What up? My name is Chaxy, the mastermind, your main guy. V Lord Chaxy, the beautiful Mariah is around. The amazing Mwass is around. The whole gang is around. Episode 237. We are
My Cheque.
And the girls is outside. KASMUEL is in the building.
KASMUEL is in the vicinity.
For starters, give me this. Pass me this. Just so you know. Just so you know. We have a dictionary today.
We've come politically correct.
We came politically
We want
correct.
to categorically state.
It is incumbent upon me to make this,
Hey,
to elucidate that bullies
nani amekama?
disgust me.
To the fucking ground.
all of it.
They discuss to the fucking ground.
I hate you guys, man.
Long awaited.
The outfit.
Yeah.
Hey.
We had to.
The dictionary. You guys are just trolls.
The keyboard, you found it here.
I promise you.
It was so heavy to move.
Oh, man.
And we were told it was worth more than our network. Combined.
Yeah. So we made a vow last year that when we host on the pod, all of us are gonna rock
We have
suits.
to be suited up.
So I want you to rate our suits, beginning with your favorite to least favorite. I know.
I know
You know,
I know too.
I'm just saying.
No, where are the suits?
You know the goal.
Well, what's wrong with all of you guys?
The goal.
The goal was to look official. And the goal has goal.
At least we know the goal. Did you ever find out what the goal was?
No, truly.
Even he doesn't know the goal.
Do you know that's our best performing skit of all time?
Ever.
It has 2 million plus views.
Ever.
I saw that thing and I think I saw it at like 39 views.
Also,
And I saw it and people had not chickered.
Yeah.
I saw this thing. I remember meeting you guys at Gecko and I was like, Chaxy!
We had just put it out like 2 days.
I said to my girlfriend, I said, wananimaliza. They're gonna cook me to death. I'm Sitoboy. I hate you guys, man.
Well.
So, best suit.
Okay.
I don't know. I don't think
I'll go with...
No.
No. I'll give you for the pants. It's a good fit. It's a good material. Actually, for you, fabric uko sawa. Fabric uko sawa.
Shoes.
Don't talk about shoes, man. It's like, at the peak of trolling, man. Someone told me, man, I rock dirty shoes. I've taken that so personally because it was protest times, man.
You're
doing well on the fabric and the color blocking. I like Mwass's coat. It's playful. It's contextual.
Contextual.
Yes.
That's the dictionary.
To mean? Exactly to mean?
What do you
mean to
I would
mean?
say, I mean, it's a sports jacket. It has it's nice. The fabric is nice. The color is.
I like this. The fabric.
It's good. It's fabric. The lovely lady is she has a corset on and a nice official shirt and
Necktie.
and a necktie for days.
And heels. This is the first time she's ever had heels on this side. Ever.
No, this is the 17th time.
Yeah, true.
Okay, just not on camera. I've had them here, just not on the camera.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I would do. I'll have to go with Chaxy.
Of course!
I'll have to go with Chaxy.
Guys, come on!
Wait, I'm not a man. Me say
I'll have to go with Chaxy.
so for the men.
Oh no!
No. It's my check. Because how many women are here?
Eh.
There you go.
You really want me to answer
Okay,
that?
It's easier for you.
Mama.
It's easier for you to join us than for us to join you.
Child. No, but as you were saying.
Yeah, so I'll go with Chaxy.
Of course.
It's easier. You can build from there.
True.
Thank you.
It's easier.
Oh,
no,
remember
it's
kuna
easier.
foundation.
Uko sawa na
Hata
bado
you can build.
Kwani ni
Sisi
mkate?
concept nirushe koti juu.
Yeah,
Nimeweza.
sawa. And then I'll
Hata
do,
mimi nikitoa hii koti sinaingia koti.
ukitoa koti pia we can build from there.
We can dig the foundation.
God damn it. And then I'll of course, the lady.
Second,
Yeah, and that tie is...
Nikupe, nyongeleshe vizuri.
Mazee.
Nyongeleshe vizuri.
Actually, kwanza.
Siri play nyongwa.
I'm joking, yeah. And then Mwass.
Then Mwass. Only because there has to be a third person.
No.
I'm on the podium.
No.
What is your option?
You remember that day we went for a race and I was on the podium?
No.
You can withdraw from the race.
Immediately.
So for the third round.
For the third round, please.
I'm not taking advice from someone who's being served sparkling water in a cup and then drinks from a bottle.
You asked for sparkling water.
Yeah.
Your house dispenser has sparkling water.
No.
18.9.
Hearing it.
That ain't a label.
What's your favorite Liquid Dip song?
You're dumb.
Listen, let's do this.
You're dumb.
Let's do this.
You're dumb.
So that we get this thing out of set. We'll come back to the banter. So, I don't know, when is the last time you played the keyboard?
It's been a while, man.
It's been a while.
Now you see, I'm politically exposed, so I can go to the gigs and people just want me to play kasongo, yeah. And then if I don't bend, of
Special
course.
request.
But yeah, it's been a minute since I played that.
So do you want to play something or do we pick what you should play?
Whatever, man.
So, I know you want kasongo.
No.
Me, I want
That's
Makmuga.
giving him too much airtime. Crazy.
Hey!
Let's go.
Me, I want Makmuga. Ilikuwa inaendaje? Walikuwa na maisha bora.
Giving a break. At least a radio kisha betri.
Okay, Mwass pick
Even
a song.
alikiba ishuka. Anashangaa ni ngoma gani?
Aligibiwa.
Mwass?
What do I want to play? Me surprise me.
Okay, same here.
No, because actually he was playing a song that I
Yeah,
did.
take it away.
What, man? I didn't have
I think you were playing Blackstreet. Maybe we can start
Hey,
okay.
That's nice.
Hey.
Nice. Boom.
I was waiting for the eyes.
Hey.
You didn't get possessed.
Maybe akicheza raga. Hebu cheza raga tuone.
What's your
Okay, I think we can
We remove
get it out of
this
set.
thing, yeah.
Thank you so much, bro.
Thanks.
that was fine.
Hey, it's been a minute. It's a very lovely board as well.
A nice one.
Yeah, if you want to know, if they're lying to you about the budget in a gig as a musician, if you see this one, you know there's,
Yeah, big.
there's a
The eyes
budget.
There's a budget.
the eyes have it.
Okay. We'll keep the dictionary here so we don't miss it. We just want to make sure we don't misunderstand anything you say.
Anything,
Misconstrue.
Yeah,
Misconstrue.
Yes. Thank you, sir.
There you go.
Asante.
Alrighty. Wait, so you make these suits you wear?
I do, man.
Wait, do you mind plugging Mwass?
By yourself?
Yeah.
Wait, like you're the fundi.
Cutting things, measuring
No
people. I've not been
way.
doing it for a long time, but
How do you argue with yourself?
I wanted
Because
to.
fundis you have to argue.
I'm suicidal.
Suliniambia nikuje leo.
What did you say?
That is so dark.
It is.
I heard.
You know, I'm
No.
like, did I hear what I had? Damn, it's my own thing.
You have to go. Let's
Pole,
just.
I'm
No, it's fine. No. Oh,
No,
All
it was
that
contextual.
drops
Kila mtu,
allowed.
all right. Kila mtu
Yeah,
anashikianga fundi
Panga,
panga. Mimi
Denis.
namshikia kamba.
Sasa wewe
I'm sorry,
unamshikia
man.
kamba ama umeshikiwa kamba huko juu?
Yeah.
Umeshika makasi.
No, I can't.
Oh, man.
And so this thing in the hair, so you make this yourself or you have to go to the barber shop?
No,
This line.
this which one?
The Nike.
This one. I told you, man. I hate bullies. That's the worst. Yeah, you
You just have a Nike logo on your head.
Yeah, man.
Not a Nike logo, I can't. He just did it.
You just did it. Mariah, you're going to hell. Oh, Nike.
Okay.
Money get your Jordan.
Yo,
Oh, man.
it is well.
It is.
So we move on from the suits.
Yeah.
All these siasa things,
Yeah.
even Mandamano,
Right.
all that, and even today,
Yeah.
you're in a full-on suit.
Yeah, man.
I've never seen even just take out the blazer.
No, man.
Ukiendanga home unanukaje?
I mean, me wananukia for sure. Yeah, my scent is. Yeah.
But the sweating sweats properly.
Kind of the body kind of zoyas. Regularly, I wear suits in Kisumu. I wear suits in. Of course, you have
What?
breathable suits for like.
Yeah.
Hey, me know fundis who work shirtless all day.
Yeah.
Body has not soiled.
Yeah. So I mean, that's it. But you see, livamangumbaya sana come to it, and I believed suits were the pinnacle of the thing. And also, you see, it's a trauma response mostly because I saw the guys who would wear suits, people just sort of treated them somehow better.
Yeah.
And I was like, so when I get to campus, I would buy myself a suit. I promised myself a suit and a watch. Yeah, so those have been.
Watch Badu.
I watch niko nayo. Sijui kwa sijavat leo. Yeah.
Is it like is it a continuous list?
Is it a what?
A continuous list.
Oh no. Yeah, it's just
Imeisha hapo.
yeah, I may share up suits and watches. Those are my things.
Okay.
So
Yeah.
on a regular day, like do you have any normal clothes? Like
I did
would
suits
we
are-
find you like in a
Suits
shirt
are
and so?
normal clothes.
No.
Suits are normal
Yeah, when I'm going
clothes.
to the gym, Basi. Yeah.
When you're chilling in the house, you just
In a suit or a birthday suit. A suit nonetheless.
I like that. I like that.
Yeah.
So when you come to your house, you come with throw pillows. So like, nakaa wapi hapo? I'm like, I'm on the floor. I'm just like,
no, yeah, I prefer
niko sawa hapa.
Mad.
Anyway, so I have two announcements. Then we get into it. So the first one is our Checkmates Hangout is still on for. These are for Kas. Yeah. Ndio umesweat sana.
Hey.
You see, we are nice people.
Thought.
You guys are considerate.
Very.
Sus.
Of course, we already went. I'll tell you about our experience in heaven. Anyway, so our Checkmates Hangout is still on for 8th of March.
Yep.
We'll be announcing our new venue across all our socials. Get those tickets if you still haven't. And hope to see you on the 8th of March.
Yes.
And then lastly, our first ever Wild Checkmates Day is coming up. March 3rd. So the idea is every March 3rd of every year.
Yeah.
So we'll rally our community from around the world. And we'll get behind one positive cause for the society. So this year we're visiting children's home.
Awesome.
So on 3rd of March, we have, the list is at 17 as of today, right? So we have 17 towns and cities, including some outside Kenya, where checkmates will get together, pick one children's home, and then they'll go visit.
Oh, man,
The ones in the diaspora, like in the UAE, Qatar, Dubai, who don't have children's homes, will just meet and commemorate the day. For sure.
Oh, you guys are doing the thing, man.
Yes, thank you, bro. So we're going to be publishing one common till number because the most frequent asked question is for those who can make it but they want to contribute. We'll publish a till number where you can send in all your donations, and we'll definitely publish out a statement of how much money was collected and how every single penny was spent. Thank you so much in advance for being part of one of our first legacy projects as a podcast.
Hey.
See you on
8th.
March 3rd.
Listen.
Can I get the volume?
Listen. Listen, the activities will be going on March 3rd
Yes.
in different towns and cities.
Okay.
But they'll see you on March 8th.
Can you teleport?
It depends. I'm Korea,
Teleport
and
now.
I know some Kisi friends. I'm just being honest.
This is saying the maximum number of checkmates we'll see will be on the March 8th.
For sure, at the hangout. So see you on March 8th.
Nice save. Nice
I
save.
can get out of politics.
Nice save. Nice save. Very smart save. Yeah. So KASMUEL McOURE. That's your real name.
My real name.
That's
What
what your
the
parents
ID?
called you. Let me say, that's what your Luo parents called you.
Yes.
Let's see some ID.
Where?
No, I believe you.
Where?
Naingianga hivi nasema mimi ni KASMUEL. Natembea na idea nini?
Eish.
No, hapana.
It's true though. Kama
Kiburi
ndo kweli ndo
kidogo,
kweli.
eh.
Kuna times zingine
Ni wapi
sura
kuna
ndio
na
ID.
Eh. Sikumbuki the last time niliya kutumia ID.
Hata M-PESA.
Hata M-PESA ni hivyo.
Haujapata ule dem tu ako na gap kubwa tu ako na I want ID.
Now ball gum.
Yeah.
Hautoi him ya biribiri ID.
Livas.
Yeah. But that's your real name.
Yes, it is.
Okay.
It's so the thing that's on the ID is KASMUEL McOURE. McOURE is in Jang. Jang say, for example, someone asks you when you are wapi, and Marco Diambo, the son of.
so
it's like the way
always
Kuyo say wa.
Got you, got you.
Yes.
Yeah.
Nice.
I've never had anyone called KASMUEL. Do you know
Me
any
neither,
KASMUEL?
bro.
Is it an acronym?
My grandfather was called KASMUEL.
Oh, you're named after your grandfather.
Yes.
It's not like an acronym. Who was telling us in was it what's the babe we had earlier? The one from Eldoret. What's the name? The famous babe we had here at the beginning of the pod.
Melody.
Yeah, I mean, alikuwa anatuambia jina zilijoiniwa son and daughter. We would make
Thingy, Kalala.
Kalala, man. How can I forget Kalala's name?
Okay.
Kalala alikuwa anatuambia what is that name that the uncle ama ni the nini walijoin pamoja.
Yeah, to make some weird name.
It was such a weird name, yeah.
Yeah, it was weird.
But there's like a thing happening with millennial couples, which they take like the first half of your name
And
then
the wife, then they make a
become
name.
Jalen.
Boo!
Hey, go down sana.
Yeah, basically.
I've seen a lot of guys do that.
Maraxi. Imagine
Maraxi.
hawa wane wazae.
Oito Marax.
Baby Maraxi. Sitaki kumshika. Very close to malaria.
Maraxi.
How was Addis? Because you just came from Addis Ababa, right? For the African Union elections.
Addis. No, should I speak freely?
Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely.
I think
You can pay as well.
You cannot?
He can pay.
Oh,
I think so. Before we get into what, because I know people are interested in like what the elections and
Yeah.
Kenyans
yeah,
and
we'll
whatever.
get to that, yeah.
When we got into Addis, because you land at Bole International Airport, Bole is rather, it's a pristine Dubai-esque city.
Nice.
And everyone's just like, oh, it's very clean. And everyone's using that chance to like castigate sacks and say, oh, you see, this is what Nairobi should be like. But I realized that we also need a bit more context to Bole. There was like intergovernmental summits happening there for over a week. So a lot of the guys had been fukuzwad. And it was interesting. I saw like Mabatis covering structures and it's a well-lit city.
Yeah.
It's a thing which we also can achieve as Nine.
Yeah.
But it was rough. It was rough, especially the election. It was insightful for me, but it's the first loss that I've witnessed of something that I was...
Buckle up in ODM. You're about to experience a lot of them.
Hey.
I think we're going
You think?
I think we're going to capture power. In
How many
coming
Kenyan MPs or government people were there?
we were plenty.
It was a whole
Kenyans
concert,
were
isn't it?
plenty. Because the guys who came by bus, the guys who were
Bus?
already... Yes.
Bus?
Yes, guys from Northeastern who came by bus. There's guys who live in Addis. Then you find people Kenyans really occupied Addis. We truly believed in Iliko Addis Ababa.
Behind the scenes, you guys actually...
And it ended up being
Behind the scenes, you guys genuinely believed he was going to win?
Yeah, and from the side of the campaign that I watched, because I got to see the operations of the secretariat and the way he mapped it out. He put up such a spirited campaign. All the appointments that had been booked for him in every country, he honored. He never postponed dates and those kinds of things. So I don't think he lost on his own accord. It's just maybe the countries did not agree with Kenya's foreign policy. Because the other thing which I came to see as a loophole, the foreign minister for Dubai really, really focused on making the foreign ministers feel good.
Dubai?
For Djibouti, not Dubai.
Oh,
sorry.
Djibouti
for
guy,
Djibouti,
yeah.
yes. And there were like G3 state, like very high profile meetings and luncheons and dinners. Yeah, but I didn't see some of our friends. I expected to see Uganda there. I expected to see some people from Jumuiya who would tip it that way. It seemed that he was going to win. Yeah, because of, again, the data that he had in the secretariat and with the visits done.
So the voting had to be done like in person?
Manually.
There was no like e-voting for presidents? Because I'm sure for sure not all presidents made it.
Not all presidents made it, but it's a closed door session. You can't vote remotely.
So it's manual.
No. I think it's... Was it a ballot? It's
a ballot.
It could be a ballot or electronic. Because if I'm gonna be honest, we didn't access
not
it.
decided.
No one, even the delegates, I don't think they need. So all you would know is round 1, 20, 18, 10. Round 2, this and that.
Because
So now we were hearing the results as they came in. So someone would be there.
So where at the hotel or where were you?
Yes, we gathered at the Radisson in Addis. Yeah. And a lot of guys were just, so we were there and someone would transmit the results and tell us these are the results of round 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 until we withdrew on the 6th round.
Mpaka results in Africa 6th round.
Na wewe.
First few seconds.
No, hata mimi hii natafuta nini huko? Jamani, kwani nini joke? Yes, nini?
One round.
What round? 8.
You are crazy.
Cuz, love it.
8 seconds of honest work. 1.5 pumps.
1.5 pumps, 8 seconds. I'm curious.
Intensity.
I'm curious.
Unalala tu hivi.
Hey,
Is the first round, is the first 2 pumps 2 seconds? Alafu kutoa 6.
see, foreplay is there. What do you mean?
The foreplay is inclusive. This is giving Ebang, but Ebang used to go longer.
Ebang hagongi.
That could easily be an episode title.
Ebang asigonge.
Because you've been very vocal about running the next election as well.
Oh man.
So I'm trying to talk. Let me see. What is this guy up to?
Ebang
asigonge.
But even with the elections, definitely we don't know the figures, and I hope one day we'll be able to know. But I'd be curious to know how much the Kenyan government spent, because it looks like they spent so much money for the campaigns. Nothing against Baba, but I didn't want him to win.
Okay. Why?
Because I'm like, he's 80, bro. Like, genuinely speaking, he's 80 now. At 8 years old, I wouldn't want someone who's vying for office at 80. I'd prefer at 80 to play more of an advisory role.
Yeah.
Okay.
For sure. I'm like 80, bro. Like, genuinely speaking, this is the African Union.
Right.
If you think about the future we need for Africa, and a future that people like Baba have really... they put their life on the line for some of the things we enjoy now. I feel like at 80 should be more advisory, but we need more younger people who to be vying for positions. It's like in 2027, nothing against Baba again, but I'd be surprised if he vyes. Because at 83 years old by then, we don't know, but at 83, 84 years, why are you vying for a public office? Yeah, that's my only reason.
Yeah, so I think, and that's valid, but you see, the way I see the AU, it's mostly a very heavy interest-driven role. So it's not running or utengi anything Like you're just you're here to, and the reason why I even thought he was the best fit, he has such a personal connection with a lot of the heads of states. He's especially in this race, he's the closest thing we would have to like actual African Union. Yes, because he can call whichever president and they'll pick up.
Yeah. I'm sure even the Djibouti guy can do that.
But you see, he's a foreign minister.
Yeah,
if you're thinking pecking order, if you think about T-Pain from Nigeria, Akina Obasanjo, Akina Ramaphosa, these are guys who've grown together.
Even older presidents.
Yes,
like
that's
ex-presidents.
Yes. And if the way I see the African Union, we need the person who's gonna bring that soonest. We can dismantle that later, but we need the person who's actually gonna bring that.
So generally speaking,
the unification. Yeah.
Generally speaking. What does African Union
do? I was about to
I know legally what they're supposed to do, but genuinely speaking, I don't know a single thing that I'd say this was rallied by the African Union and it got approved. I don't know a single time the African Union has been supportive of even countries when there's wars. With
the craziness that's happening in Congo, what does African doing?
What do they genuinely do?
And I think it's the selfishness of countries, because republics will put their own interests first. And now that's the other thing which I think placed him further is he's not beholden. He does not have, for example, a vested interest.
He's not beholden.
He's not beholden to like a particular interest. He's not the commander-in-chief of a particular country. Like he would have just done his thing. And for me, that is more of unity, trying to do intracontinental trade, just the whole thing. You remember the last time we had like Gaddafi was pursuing like a united Africa type thing. Yeah. I think the hard-nosed diplomacy that's around getting such a position makes it rather hard for us to achieve it.
Yeah.
But the thing which I feel made Baba fit for the role, in my perspective, is he had that thing for, if he got it, it would just be, okay, could we try and bring people together in a room? Because he has that thing that we cannot take away from him, where people just want to coalesce around him.
Yeah.
Coalesce.
Yeah.
Coalesce.
Less of it.
Coalesce.
Less of
solve it.
Yeah. And I'd definitely come to Baba at some point.
Yes.
But then how would you describe your life right now?
I don't know. I was telling a friend that I left the house sometime last year as a pianist, and I've never gone back. Because when I went to the streets in that baggy suit, I just went for vibes. Actually, we dressed up. We were playing dress up with my friends. We were like, there's a protest, and protests are fun. We get to run around and do the thing. And I had a recorder. I was like, my persona is a music professor. So that's how I show up in like a baggy whatever. And I never found the protest. Nilikuwa natafuta maandamano, especially hiyo ya kwanza. Was it ya 18?
Day one.
Yeah, day one nilitafuta, sikuwahi ipata. I would just see akina Charisma, naangalia hivi simu naona wako police action niko. I can't find it for the life of me. But I remember there's a time briefly I found some people singing.
You couldn't find the protest or cameras?
The protest. So I found the cameras, let me tell you.
Honorable member.
Umeinjectana.
Dishonorable member.
Ini kama zile games za wale ma Chinese wenye wanavutanga.
Do you know I waste so much time watching those videos. Anyway,
so I found like a small group of people, and their protest was so dead, but there were cameras there. So I was like, I'm Jewy. So I taught them how to sing a few songs. Then
like protest songs now.
Yes. Like proper maandamano. Tumesoma katiba, tukaelewa, those kinds of things. I can, of course, whatever. And then, so we do the thing, and yani ikashika, tukalala chini, nini, there's photos. And then tukahepa.
Wait.
Pause.
Step by step.
Ikibamba sana lala.
Wait, ikashika. Like,
Ukalala
you guys were having so much fun.
Sasa unajua tega siko huko mbele, and then at that time, it's still not as confrontational.
Yes.
The cops are still very careful about what they're doing. They're throwing maybe the smoke bombs or whatever it is. They're harmless things. Ama wakirusha tear gas, wanairusha in a humane way. Like, tuko hapa, wanarusha hapa. Like, possible
Not
kurudisha.
on you.
No.
So the popular image of you holding a canister.
Yes, that's from
and
day
then,
one.
That's the one. And then there's the image of you with a megaphone. When now that's when guys started calling you Tomboya.
Now-
Because that was the second
Yeah.
one.
Yes.
That was still the one or day two now. The megaphone.
No, the megaphone comes
day two now.
after. Yes, now after we did.
That was
The
the
megaphone-
the
That
one before
that was
Parliament.
Thursday.
Yes,
Tuesday,
that was
the
Tuesday.
first Tuesday
Yes.
is the one with the canister.
The first
Yes.
Tuesday is the one with the canister.
Then the megaphone is the first Thursday.
Yes.
Now
Yes.
when there was a bigger, way
No.
bigger
It's actually the one with the megaphone is actually the next Tuesday. Do we breach Parliament on Tuesday or
No,
Thursday?
We breached on Thursday.
We breached on Thursday,
Yeah,
right?
that was Tuesday.
So that was Tuesday.
Yeah.
Because remember, there was a week of protests.
Yes.
Before now,
Yes.
we breached
Yes.
Parliament.
Yes.
So that one was from day one.
Okay.
And now I meet people and we sing and then I go to look for the protest because I'm like, this is so dead, it's so lame, there's no action here. Like only one tear gas canister has been thrown at us. I'm like, so I go to look for like the protest. My friends are calling me, are telling me, hey, hapa ndio imeshika. So trying to run there, also haijashika.
Hapa nimeshika is still crazy, bro.
Hapa na ili kuangalia. Huko ndo imeshika.
Yeah.
Kama hapo.
So that was close to Supreme Court. That's the first place. And then now we go into that street that goes into the Stanley. And then I met two idle girls. I'm like, are you going for the protest? From Strath. So I told them, I'm going to look for it, but nimeambiwa side ya Bunge ndo inabamba. So come, I show you where it is. So we go towards Bunge, but we don't make it. We get into Aga Khan Walk, that sunken park, and then we go up and get into the Carrefour. And now they're watching the action because sasa watu wameanza kuirusha. Buy water, one comes into the supermarket, kohoa, and then now I chomoka, and then now I go wirusha. Just jibamba a bit. It was like maybe 10-15 minutes of action, and now people go home. I'd met a friend of mine, there's a pal of mine called Cheruto. I meet her at every protest. I don't know where she comes from, and then she records me. She recorded me for like March and femicide in March. March is when I knew there was something that was going to happen in the country. I just did not know when. Because the women had done a thing. We protested in June, right? We reached Parliament in June. But in March, the women had done a march on, was
Femicide.
it 18th?
Yeah.
I think it was 18th. It was a Sato. And it was the safest, best organized march.
I remember that, yeah.
And I was like, there's something. I don't know what, but we have critical mass for some action.
Yeah.
And then 2 3 months later, people breach Parliament.
Yeah.
So Cheruto records a video of me
Wait,
holding
is
a
this
canister.
Koimet?
No. Cheruko is one of the friends I went into town with.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
But this is Emma Cheruto now.
Emma Cheruto.
yes.
We love
Oh
Emma.
my God.
We love Emma.
The duality of man.
That
Hey.
So Ems records the video of me with a canister in my pocket. And it's supposed to go to like our WhatsApp group for the squad. And I think she posts on her Twitter and whatever. My Twitter is dead at this time.
Yeah.
I have like maybe 350 followers or 400, I don't know. It was a place just for math and psychology and those kinds of things. Then when I get home, I see calls, I see people sending me this video and nini. And that Twitter has like maybe 5K people and those kinds of things. I'm like, Allah. So now I realize what it is. And now it just becomes a whole thing.
Yeah.
And just from there, I now become a protester. Then the one for the megaphone is, because now we do Tuesday.
That was the Tuesday
Tuesday
now.
one.
Then there was Thursday.
So Tuesday's the one that even DJs came, like there was like a whole
That was
bash on
Thursday.
the street.
That was Thursday now. When
Remember-
Parliament was occupied, yes.
Tuesday. No. But now there's 3 protests before we occupy Parliament.
Yeah.
Yes.
So that first one, for that Tuesday, we occupied State House. Nobody cared. People were dancing in front of State House at 7:30. There was a throng of people outside Gate D into that whole curve, hapo mbele ya Lava Latte, the whole thing. And people danced a good one. Yes. So mi nilitoka town, nikakimbia, nikasema, hey, kuna bash sasa huko State House. And then, now we dance. People go home at like 8:30, 9. And then now Thursday, because of what people had seen on Tuesday, more people talking
Okay,
on Thursday.
yeah.
Now
Thursday was a
Thursday
bigger
is the
crowd.
party.
Yeah.
So Thursday
Yes.
there was a bigger thong.
Wow, Thursday was vibes. Yet I mean the
Because I also couldn't make it on Tuesday, but Thursday.
Yes.
Thursday were there.
Then the next Tuesday happens. Unfortunately, there's a kid. I think a kid had died. So at this time, when it's happening, I did not understand it. I knew there was like an Occupy type thing, but it was vibes. It was vibes until I heard that there's a kid who had been shot
That was like, okay, this
in
is
the
serious.
school bus.
But Rex was shot on day one, no?
No,
the
no,
first
no.
Tuesday.
Rex gets shot on
The Thursday.
occupation.
No, the day before, Tuesday.
The Tuesday of the
Tuesday of the week of occupation.
Yes.
Yes. But also that Tuesday, I had there's a kid.
A
who'd
stray
been-
bullet that killed some kid in the
in
bus.
a school bus.
in Nakuru.
No,
No, it was up at
Nairobi.
2 like Thika Road.
Okay.
And hey man, I don't know. My brain has blocked. Why is this? It feels like one big fog. Anyways, now I start seeing this as a thing. So after the first Tuesday, it was vibes, and then now we go for Thursday. And then when we come for this Tuesday, then people are doing spaces. Now remember that weekend, we stay on a space for a whole day.
Literally.
2 million people.
Yeah.
And it's radical. And then now I'm like, okay, fine. This is no longer a joke. And now I have to be serious about this thing. I'd seen that the way we were speaking, the guys who were in the higher ups did not care. They thought it was just kiddos doing the thing. And then remember, if there's a time we've collectively cursed in this country, the most number of facts that have been said and given was that space.
True.
Yeah. The facts per fuck. Yani, it was it was crazy. Then now so after, remember, I do the cameras that found me on the first day put me on Getty
The
Images.
cameras found you, or you found the cameras?
See, don't let facts get in the way of a good story.
Facts.
Don't let facts. Don't give a fuck about the facts.
Agreed.
Space.
Yeah.
Yeah, so so the cameras I occupied on day one, they put me on Getty Images.
Yeah.
And I think the thing about media is they're people who are trying to build a story.
Yeah.
Because this revolution, if you think about it, if we're going to be honest, it was very artist driven.
Yes.
It was an artistic expression. And I remember there's a protest where, so at the time, my family had come to live with me, and my sister she's a student up IV in Nairobi. And I left her in the house, and she was like, oh yeah, I'm going for the protest. I got like fiti. She was cooking and doing those just kinds of things. And then in the evening, I'm looking at KBC, and they're highlighting Gen Zs. And it's my sister and her gang, her squad, they've dressed up, yani, it's a Nairobian thing. I'm like, we Nicole, nilikuacha kwa nyumba bana. Sisi protest yetu hata hajaniniwa na nyinyi already. So it's one of those things for now. It's gaining traction, and I see some people I saw on the first day. They're following me, and they're taking photos, and they're posting the photos. And I think, yeah, this is kind of cool. Yeah, it's nice. And then now I buy into the story.
Okay.
The attention, it gets to you.
Okay.
And I keep on saying, man, I think the blue check mark was the biggest enemy of the revolution. Because now, at some point, we kind of wanted to do things for impressions. Yeah. And
Who are you speaking on behalf?
Myself.
Okay.
If I'm myself.
And of course, there's more other people.
Yes,
online.
but I can say for myself, I will not speak
yeah.
for other people, but it's the observation I saw that the moment all of us just got the blue check marks, because now you get a blue check mark and then Elon has deposited $118 in your account. You're like, kumbe iko na pesa. Kumbe nini. So everyone's now rushing to nini news. Everyone wants to get ahead of the information curve.
Because that's when you really became active online, and your following also grew.
Yeah.
So you decide now you want to get involved properly with the movement after Tuesday or after Thursday, the first Thursday?
No, after the first Tuesday.
After the first Tuesday now.
First Tuesday, when I saw it, we had like discussions. Hey, sorry.
It's okay.
After I saw the photos and those kinds of things, we had discussions with my friends, and we said, okay, fine, we might have gone for vibes, but there could be something deeper. Then let's find what is our role in this protest, in this revolution. Yeah. I was like, if these people are looking for a story, it would be rather dumb for us to let any cameras pass by without us giving the proper depiction of what we're on the streets for.
So all the time, because even when we did the skit, it's because we were discussing on the podium. Like, there's so many people in the protest, but somehow KASMUEL is Al Jazeera, NTV, Citizen. After the protest, he's with Jeff Koinange. He's on TikTok.
Like, excuse.
So I'm like, okay, clearly he's parading himself before. Like, it looks very calculated at the time.
Okay.
So was it very intentional? Because there's no way this was a coincidence.
So now, the thing which I will admit, okay, so now, let me just circle back to the first time I do a thing with regards to protest, and the second time now that it actually now cements my position, is when my friend, Dr. Austin, he's running a blood drive at the Sikh
doctors
Union.
for?
Yes, Medics for Kenya.
Medics for Kenya, sorry.
Yes, so he's the founder, and he's running a blood drive at the Sikh Union, and then he gets taken. And I remember saying, wondering why would they take a doctor. So I tell my friend, let's go and see. Let's just go and see. Let's go and see what's happening at the Sikh Union. And I was like, no one's kind of talking about it. So I did a video.
I remember the one
there was like 4 guys.
The one that the confrontation with the lady from the health facility.
Bado.
Hey. That's like way.
That's like the 4th time I'm getting cancelled.
You did a whole series.
So many times. Hii time bado sijakansoliwa.
Okay.
Yes. Hii time you are cloud chaser, but bado sijakansoliwa.
But also they love you because they called you a cloud chaser, but each time you get on press, you are so eloquent.
And they can't help but love you at the same time.
And everything you said felt like it represented the union.
Right.
No, the movement, sorry. You know, the leaderless, tribeless.
Yes.
We don't want politicians involved in this movement. So everything you said, everyone was okay with everything you said.
Right.
But they're like,
it's just that you're in everyone's face too much. But what you're saying is factual.
Yeah. So, and this is the thing which this is how I saw it. I was like, who's occupying that space? We already have people who are doing such a great job in mobilization. People who are doing such a great job in Medics for Kenya is doing such a great job on the medical front.
Guys are showing up.
Guys are showing up. Yeah. Who's saying the things
that needs to be said,
that the Mwananchi needs to hear on the news? Because the spaces were doing absolutely well. But who's saying the things that your mom, who believes in respect, who goes to church and loves Christ, who's speaking to her? Yeah, so I was like, this will be my contribution to the movement, is that I will speak at every opportunity that I get. I will speak and try and say as much as I possibly can, try and represent whatever it is that we're fighting for. So now, when I made that video, we were told, oh, G's been taken to Parklands police station. We get to Parklands, and I'm like, these are older guys. Where the young people were speaking. So I remember that one, I occupied it, and I said, no, I was with Dr. Austin in high school, and now we feel very bad, and then we were referred to like Gigiri.
I remember that video.
Yes, then we were referred to Gigiri, and then there I say, we make a video and we say, if he's not produced by tonight, we're going to take 1,000 youth to camp outside the IG's office tonight. And then they bring him to the diplomatic, is it the diplomatic DCI at Gigiri? So now after that whole thing is now when I'm like, okay, fine. I have some sort of a voice, but it's not yet well developed. So I was like, yes, I'll go for protests and all those kinds of things, but I will also not spare a single camera. Like,
you'll occupy
nilikuwa
the streets and the cameras.
Naona red inatokea hata kwa air freshener. Asema,
Hello, nimekuja na tangazo.
Hello. And I didn't care because I was like, yeah, this is going to be my contribution to the thing. And yeah, that had its own its perks and its pitfalls. Yeah.
And the abduction, were you actually abducted? Because a lot of people up to date don't believe that you were abducted.
I'm guilty. Me, but this is a story.
Sasa by the time wanasema umekuwa abducted, so at that point, I'm very 50-50. Because now I don't know this guy anymore.
Right.
I'm like, but I know Cass from the scene.
Yeah.
Yeah, but and you know, I know you're
but you know
always been eloquent,
yes,
you know.
Yeah.
So by the time this is this is happening, I'm like, shit. Initially we believe it. And then now guys start posting why they don't think you got abducted.
Yeah.
And then now when you show up in that
the
full
suit.
suit, just on time for the protest.
Yeah.
Mariah, okay.
Go for
Take
it.
away.
What is this I'm hearing?
No, I hear.
They're kidnapping fucking children. They're shooting fucking
Shooting.
children.
Burning.
And they just released me, but I haven't showered.
Ah, bro.
Nigga, that is exactly what you said.
No, because this is the day for the fucking ground.
ground.
To the fucking ground.
So I'm like, ujaoga.
I didn't get past
Nigga, you were kidnapped in a 3-piece. You're just shooting ujaoga unena no. Stay home.
So Masa alikuwa ananuka kama mwananchi.
struggle.
I see what you did there.
Yo.
Episode ni refu. Message ni
No,
moja.
but, no, for real.
So,
And Kwanzaa because, and I think another reason why many people don't believe this is because whenever the kidnappees are released, nobody wants to talk about the... Listen, KASMUEL is the one who's allowed to correct me.
Oh, wow.
The kidnappees, abductees.
right.
You get the point.
KASMUEL ana correct, unamcorrect.
By the way,
Niache.
Okay, kidnappees.
Nobody wants to give their side of the story, and even when they're coerced to, it's still, no one wants to be straightforward with A, B, C was how it happened, and this is where I'm at. So would you want to give...
But you see, now for me, the only other person that I knew was Dr. Austin.
Okay.
And
at the time,
yes, the only other person... And for me, this is the thing which I feel a lot of guys missed. At the time this is happening, and we can't conflate it with recent cases, the only question that is ringing through the system's mind is who's financing.
Yeah.
Yeah. I would say that we had it fairly, and not to cheapen any other person's experience, we had it fairly easier. Because for us, for me, it was rather simple. Okay, I'm a confident person, but I'm like, but mini mwalimu, mini, hata ndio hizi M-PESA. And that's why I'm always yapping and saying, audit all of us.
Yeah.
I want every frontliner to be audited. And for me, and this is the thing, so that's, Parliament is occupied. We occupy Parliament on Thursday?
second Thursday.
Was it Thursday or Tuesday?
No, Thursday. Second Thursday is when we occupy. No,
It was a Tuesday.
It was a Tuesday. It was the second Tuesday when
Yeah.
Parliament was occupied. And
Yes.
then second Thursday is when
So
they
Tuesday,
said Occupy State House,
now-
but it flopped.
Yeah.
I took care. I show up on Thursday in a full suit.
Yes.
And everyone is just like,
Hakuna
hakuna yo kitu. But mi niliingia Kichaka 26th. 26th at 11 nilikuwa at
Off
my...
grid.
Yes.
Which day of the week is 26th?
It's a Wednesday.
Wednesday.
This is Wednesday. But I tweet on Thursday, I think, at 3 a.m. saying, Mazemi niko sawa, and everyone's like, oh, show us a video and those kinds of things.
Yeah.
Because I saw a picture of you and your dad, maybe?
Yes, no,
Was that
that's
picture?
when I figured, because I went home first. I went home on Thursday, and my logic was, if you're going to tell people not to occupy a state house, the only person who's worthy of telling anyone on the ground anything is a person who's on the ground.
True.
So we figure to the ground, and then we decide collectively if this is the thing. So I think now when I say that, oh, you see, but then I went into hiding, everyone's just like, oh no, he was seen in Gara with his girlfriend in apartment number D4. I'm like,
Get
nionyeshe tu
why
receipts.
D4? Yeah.
I don't know. That's
For 4 seconds. So to me, I think the main question would be, how did the abduction happen? How many people were there? How many days? Were there
it's not even
other
any days.
people
It's
there?
just 25th.
One day.
I remember I called my dad on 26th.
So
and told him I'm
where
safe.
did they take you?
I honestly do not know. So for me, it was just in the evening. It's the night. So we've occupied Parliament, and I have a very straightforward mandamana routine. I come, I park my car at the cathedral, take a bike, get into town, andamana, take a bike back either to the cathedral or somewhere else till the heat dies down.
Then you
Go
back
and
to
take
pick
my
your
car. Yes. So during on the 25th, the whole beautiful thing, the Bowser Quishas water and the sea of people is moving forward, and now we move forward, and I see the breach. The breach happened at like 3:30 or 4
Yeah.
thereabout.
Parliament.
Yes, and I see the breach in the wall, and the time I'm like, hey man, I'm in a suit. Everyone is in like has a
Masks,
banda. Yes,
whatever.
masks and those kinds of things. I was like, hey man, I think I'm too exposed for this. So then I retreat and I go and activate a crowd in front of the cathedral and tell them, guys, Parliament has been breached. They've occupied Parliament. So policemen had also barricaded this. I don't know what that roundabout is called. I've never
The
understood.
Parliament
No. The one, yes, is it Uhuru? The one that has Murumbi at Gallery. There's like it goes up Kenyatta Avenue. That roundabout, it's been barricaded. But also, there are people who've been injured. So I'm trying to tell people that, so Jamia is overwhelmed. And so I go to tell people, when in occupying around Cathedral and activating, they tell me they have capacity. So find ways of going. I think network was jammed or something.
Yeah.
So we go and we tell Jamia guys that Cathedral has capacity. And now me, natoroka sasa. Because consistently there are people, I even saw videos. I had after the first week, I had a very weird, protest experience. There was always someone who I'd be protesting somewhere, and when it shikas kabisa, someone starts throwing stones at buildings. This one time, we're in a crowd, and I'm like, there's a person in plain clothes who has a gun, but he's also holding stones. And so then there was also the experience for the supermarket. So we do Tuesday, Wednesday. I go to meet, one of my mentors called me to a place. He wanted to give me, I told him I needed money for vuvuzelas.
This is Wednesday now.
This is Wednesday week 1. Yes. This is Wednesday week 1. And at night, so we were meeting in Kilimani around the Quickmart. So I can be pack your car a bit Bali and then come to, there's like a liquor situation happening there. And I park outside the Quickmart, there's a whole police truck. And then there's a small pro box with a guy who chucks, and so I'm walking in, and normally I'm like, oh, Ndugu, he comes to my door, and I'm like, boss, niaje sina leo, I'm just getting in, I lie, oh, I'm going to shop for the family, and those kinds of things. But he's not even begging. He's telling me, oh, unajua mimi nilikuwa student leader wakati wangu, nikiwa, so I'm like, history ni ya nini? So we get in, I insist, let's get into the supermarket. We get into the supermarket, then I'm in like the veggies section, and like four other guys and 2 uniformed armed cops enter the supermarket.
This is the Quickmart Kilimani.
This is the Quickmart at Kilimani. And I'm always saying, if we go to that date after your footage or whatever. So I go, so they get in and they pretend to be shopping. This guy who was handing me out here is still insistent on telling me this story about the way he was a student leader. And I'm like, I do not know you. Unaniambia historia yako ya wewe kuwa student leader inanisaidiaje. So we're hanging out. I pretend to be buying something. So they go into the aisles, and I get out, and so the lorry was farther. This time the lorry is outside. It's outside the Quickmart, and I'm like, this is rather weird. But I get into the car. Because there was a crowd inside the supermarket. It was rather crowded on that night, and so they were not arresting someone. And then I saw TOCG that come for someone else. But this guy who they were walking out with, there's a guy who was talking to me, and he's armed. And he got into like the thing, because I got into my car and then drove off. I called my mentor because he was like, be careful, you're on government's high alert. So I chomoka and...
Government is someone in government? Someone who would have access to such info?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. This is a guy who was...
well connected.
Yes. Then now the protests happen, and I see even there's a time I'm walking around and guys are like, oh, nini, wale ni plain clothes, lakini hawata kuguza tuko na wewe. There's a video of me walking in town, and like people were my best defense. So now, fast forward to the time it's happening, I leave the cathedral with my friend. I tell him, I want you to take the car because I want to go and hide in Karen. There's a guy who I know with him, if I'm at his place, I'm safe, he's well connected, and those kinds of things. So we're driving up, so we leave, we check the cathedral is okay, we're going up Valley Road, Nini. We go up Hurlingham all the way, and then when you're getting to that turning for Yaya, I tell him, do you see this car that's beside us? It's like a white Pro Box that has armed men inside. And so I'm like, oh, maybe I'm overthinking it. But first, it overtook us just at that turning for Yaya. Just before you get to Yaya, there's that thing that goes into Arguings, and then there's the left into Yaya. As you're approaching Yaya, I saw it first, and I was like, okay, I don't know what this is. Then I turned, and I thought we'd lost them, and they pulled up at the traffic light. They go down the link road to Langata, and then you go up Ngong Road. They pulled up again at our side. So now it hit me, okay, man, maybe this might be trouble or whatnot. So we go down the link road, we go up, and now I'm panicking, and I'm like, I'm trying to call people, I'm trying to tell them, oh, listen, I call my close friends and tell them, I think we're being tailed, I think these are dangerous people, I'm calling people, and I'm like, I cannot go home because I don't have security, I don't have water, and there was no one at home. So I was like, so I call this guy, and he tells me, listen, come to Karen, and then let me know. When you fika around the Galleria, you let me know. So we get into that Kanjia that goes down. And at this time, this guy is following us. But then I thought, yes. So we did the whole link road. I thought that they were going to go up Ngong Road, but we do the whole link road together. We go, nini. And then I thought,
National Park.
Yeah, but then I thought we had lost them.
Yeah.
Because for the time, by the time we're getting to like that Bomas standing into Galleria,
They disappeared.
iko tu sawa. We even go through Bogani Road, we're totally fine. And I'm like, hey, Fuchs, maybe I just misinterpreted the thing. And so I tell my friend, take this car, but don't take it back home.
Yeah.
Take it to a local. So he took it to Legend. Was it Legend Karen or Roadhouse, whatever it is. So I'm chilling at Bogani. So now we're doing the thing. I've ensured I don't have, because I had canisters, those things which we used to collect for evidence. I've tossed all of them in the car and those kinds of things. And so the idea was I would use my other car as now my operational thing. This one was just if
So
they had
where's your
flagged
other
it.
car? Ama, you'll find it. At this time, you don't have it on you.
No, I don't have it. I was hoping that they would bring me my other car so that then I would use it and go.
So you're
wherever.
chilling at Bogani Garden?
Yes, Niko Bogani.
Inside?
Yes. No,
Bogani Garden? Some outside?
no.
Just outside?
There's this, so the part we are Chana is, there's this place where queer guys usually kunywa. It's like a whole village situation at queer. So I'm like, oh yeah, you can blend, and then now I can try and see and pote and then walk around. So at that stretch too is now when I get, so you walk around and then is this Selanga or whatever it is? So I'm walking, I'm pretending I'm easy. I left my jacket. I kind of left my
Everything.
Yes, my camouflage, because I always have attire in the car. Even now I have 6 suits in there. Yeah. And so now before I get to this guy, because he was supposed to pick me, and he told me he's coming to pick me, but he was like, okay, so if we are also just trying to say, you know, this when you're being told when kuzima simu, do this kind of thing, and you're like, if you're being followed, these are the protocols. And so I call and I say, I'm here, and here. I'll be on this road, and that's the kind of thing. It's chill. And then the same guys that I saw on Prestige, same guys.
And now they're...
Yes. And
now you know what's going down.
Now I'm like, what the hell is this? And the whole time, it's just being driven bio. Kucha.
So they grabbed you?
Yes.
Into the Pro Box?
Yes. Yes. So now I'm chilling, and of course now I'm also very wary because I think I'd shared that I was going through a thing. I was coming out of like a suicidal episode.
Yeah.
And I felt like, oh, you see, these guys they could
Probably
do whatever and say that
it's that.
That's the thing that happened. And so nyinyi ndio mnajiona mnawezana mambo ya serikali au mtatujua leo. Of course, the whole thing, and it's an intimidating situation. You're sitting on guns and those kinds of things, and they're driving, and now windows are up. You're in between people.
Is it tinted or not tinted?
Is it tinted?
The car, was it tinted?
Was it tinted? So when I saw them, the windows were down.
Okay.
And then, no, it was a tinted car.
But the windows are down?
No, listen. When I first saw these guys, I saw the guns and the whatnot. and we lose them
now.
and whatnot. So I get in and commotion. It was a tinted car. Because now I sit on guns and then twende peleka huyu ko nini atuambie majibu, and then now I'm blindfolded. So the whole thing is happening, and then now we go to Aki place, and then now I'm sitting and no one's talking. And now after that whole thing, there's the whole entire...
They take you somewhere and drop you somewhere?
No, they don't take me and drop me. They take me and they're with me. They don't leave me.
Yeah.
So it's questioning.
You exit the car. Like they take you to a building.
We exit the car. We exit the car and then we sit. It's Gioni. It's nighttime, I think, because I hope it's nighttime. Because this thing happens at what? We leave Parliament like 5:30. No, 4:30, 5, whatever. It's like 6:30, thereabout. So we do like a little drive, and then we stop. We go to a place that feels like a compound, and then I sit. And now, for a minute, for a hot minute, it's just silence. We're chilling, and then someone comes, and now the questions start. The regular intimidation, or unajiona nani, nini. Sasa leo lazima utuambie mnataka.
Are you still blindfolded, or you can see
yes,
the faces?
Yes. This entire time blindfolded.
Yeah. Cuffed? Handcuffs or no handcuffs?
No, I was not handcuffed. Okay. Yes. So in the car, I was not cuffed. I was like this.
Yeah.
I was in the middle,
Sandwiched.
and then kachini. It's not that one for you're sitting like this. It's almost as though you're sitting on that middle thing. Kachini na unyamaze, and those kinds of things. It's just regular bullying. And then kutolewa kupe. There's this thing which they call kutolewa kupe, where
they pinch you in between the thighs.
Yes, with a bullet.
With a bullet?
Yes. This thing has happened to me twice. That time, and then there's a time I broke presidential protocol on 2nd. It happened to me again this year. So now there's the questioning and the need for money. I'm like, mimi tu ni mwalimu wa watoto, mwanamuziki, ndio hii pesa yangu. I show them, nauliza, so sema nini. I tell them, hata mkiangalia transactions zangu, ziko sawa. Simu iko wapi? Simu yangu nimezima. These are the details, nini. I don't know if they go through because they ask for the thing. And I'm like, yes. Sawa. So the questioning, and then after that, we leave that place, and then I'm taken to like a different place. And then...
Were there other people? Like, who... Would you know if there were other people who were maybe arrested or abducted? Or was it just you and this guy's questioning you?
I really don't... I didn't... The second place, I had other voices.
Like, of the guys who took you, or like, yeah?
No, it's just... I had more people. There were more people at the second place than at the first place. There was more activity. And then now, of course, it's... we stay there. I'm offered water and those kinds of things. And then we're in a room. And then the next morning, we drive out. We go... and I'm left at Langa. So it's questions, kawaida, to just around money, around who's...
Financing this.
So there's money, and then there's where are you organizing from, who's coordinating. And then at the time, Mimi still say, I don't have answers. I was just like that. There was nothing I could say, nini. And then I'm taken to Langata, and akasema, sisi, usifikirie tumemalizana na wewe.
Still blindfolded?
No,
blindfolded.
Now here, see, now I know where I'm at. Now I'm at Langata, at that car.
And you can see their faces and everything?
No, bro.
Is it a dark room, or...
We're not in the room. Now I'm talking about, now I've left the second place, and now we're going to I'm being driven to the place where they dump, because they dumped me at Langata.
So now you can see them?
Wait, during the drive? No. See, when they're driving, you're blindfolded.
Okay.
Yeah. So now we go, and then they tell me, so iko hivi, that thing was fikiria tumalizana na wewe, ukijaribu kucheza serikali, nini, and we're monitoring you. That time I only had one phone, given the phone, nini, kila kitu uko sawa, uko na kila kitu yako, nini. I'm like, I feel for... I'm like, okay, fine. Then I call my mentor, and I'm like, I call my dad first. I tell him, Dad, niko safe, I am shaken, but niko sawa. I call LSK president, I tell her, Faith, niko sawa, but I will be going into hiding, but niko sawa. Then I call my mentor and I tell him, niko hapa na hapa, and he doesn't live too far from there. And so he says, I'm coming with the car. So they take me. Now we go. Yeah, I'm shaken, and now I stay in the house. They're like, oh, don't do anything, just stay like this. And then I go back home the next day. This when I'm tweeting at 3 a.m.
That's now when you're going home.
Yeah, so they're like, everyone was so worried and nini. I see on like the wife's phone and like, oh, mothers are praying. They're in a WhatsApp group and those kinds of things. I see, yes, like free KASMUEL, free whatever. And then I go, so now I'm mad because I ask what had happened. The news. I'm told I now rewatch the speech and then people are supposed to, people are supposed to occupy now. People are saying we're occupying State House on Thursday. Yes. I'm very mad at the regime and I'm like, I'm going. And I remember my mentor saying, we cannot tell you what to do. We would advise that you do not go. But if you feel very strongly in your heart that you need to go, go.
You need to go.
Call my pal, tell him please bring the other car. I come, so they drop me. So my guy drops me at, that gotten me sweats and some t-shirt. Hey!
Ooh, sorry. What's up?
He just drove.
Is it a sandbag?
Mic drop. It's not a sandbag situation.
I think it's the height. They need the height thing here.
Can be sorted too. Ernest will sort you out. It's okay. Ernest will sort you out.
Thanks.
Wait, so during this abduction, so you were interrogated twice?
Yes.
Only?
Yes.
And then the rest of the time they just leave you to just there?
Yeah.
Like sat on a couch? Is it on the floor?
The first place was a bit more comfortable than the other one.
Yeah.
Yes, but it was a proper chair.
Okay.
Yeah.
But no one beat you or hurt you in any way?
It's just the kawaida thing that you go through through police harassment. The things for kutu, the slaps and the whatnot.
Okay.
Yeah, back of your head.
What's the things for kutu?
Kutolewa kupe,
With the bullets?
not kutu.
Oh,
Kutolewa
okay.
kupe.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's the first time
I've heard about
I've never heard about that.
Yeah.
Me, I've been arrested. All the times I've been arrested, I've been polite.
Yeah.
Except, actually, it's just been easy.
True.
Yeah. Yeah, so that happens, and then now I go home, because when I get home in sweats and like a hoodie, and then I talk to my dad. My dad is telling me, oh, we've been looking for you. You know, there's someone who had told us to give them money because that's you seen you somewhere. Someone else had been seen. Yes, that they said that, oh, we have him. But I think those are just people who are trying to nyorosha the famo. And then everyone in the family, all my friends were like, no, you cannot go, you cannot do whatever. I was like, hakuna.
To the fucking ground.
Yes. Then, so I wear the suit. I get in. We do that the whole like all pleasantries and whatnot. I wear a suit. I get into the thing. I go into town. I go in front of Nation Center because now the station which I'd picked was Kimathi Street.
Yeah.
This is the
one that he did.
This is the Omanyala. The day Omanyala.
No, Omanyala is much late. Omanyala is August 8th, bro.
Damn.
Oh yeah, nane.
Yes, Omanyala is nane when we were supposed to capture the state.
I'm sorry about the situation was so bad, but it was so cool watching you run that fast and jump over the barriers. I was like,
Like,
that's cool.
Kwanzaa, there's one which I was swimming on the ground.
No, we didn't see that.
Hey, I did like a whole belly crawl. It was so crazy.
Without water.
Yeah. On dry
What
land.
does swimming on the ground mean to you?
Yes.
Swimming on the ground could mean like, a ground that has water. Still a ground.
It's called a pool.
Oh yeah, that's what I meant.
I serve the God of Moses. So he parted the Red Sea. So that jumping over Nation Center is nini. It's just that. So how we would mobilize, we would start from Kimathi, then you push, go to the statue, and then now you get everyone, because the eventual goal was everyone to get into parliament or whatever it is that we were trying to do. Yeah, so now I get cancelled the first time, and people say, Akuna. This guy now is, I think, working for Gava, not started showing up.
I think
working
cloud
for
chasing.
Working for Gava.
Cloud chasing. This is now when cloud chasing now takes center stage.
Working for Gava was, I think, a bunch of things. One, I think, was you showing up at JKIA when it was only the workers.
We're actually getting there.
Then there was the school. What was the name of the school?
Russia.
The school in
Russia,
Nyeri.
unfortunately.
Yeah.
Then there was now the pictures that started showing up with, guys
with
with
Osoro.
Osoro
was the first and
first
only
picture.
politician during Maandamano.
Yeah. So I think cumulatively, guys, and then, of course, guys up to date still say the abduction story is not real. So I think that's what I'm saying. It was a bunch of things.
Okay, yeah.
And then guys at some point were like, okay, this guy now.
Tumekubali.
Yeah, but now you see also, I think for me, it happened in so many stages because then there's that, and then maybe I regain the graces because I was like, I don't care much for what the people are saying. Because also at the time, I was like, maybe I'm here for a very fixed time. And I come from, and this maybe is a broader conversation, the collective that is called the Luo community, which is a thing I tried to hide kabisa.
With your name?
I tried, I refused to go to like Ramogi, I refused to go to, so I did every other station, I did everything
those
but
clips.
Jang stations.
Got you.
Yeah. And so there was
Can
a
you
whole
speak it?
contention. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. There was a whole contention. Oh, this guy is called Samuel McOURE. And I was like, I will not fight it. This
That's
is
uko
cool.
mkisi.
Like napenda hivo, heri hivo. But then I was like, the people from that community who do this kind of thing, they end up dying early.
Yeah.
So I was like, now here I'm here for a fixed period of time. So I have to deliver. I have to do whatever it is. And then if it so happens, God forbid, it happens, I left my mark. And so it's soaring through that. So there's a cancellation for that. It was cancelled. And then now we have the second time. So now Occupy State House does not work because of several forces.
Yeah.
And then now we get...
The unit was very divided.
Yes.
I remember even us...
Like leaving the ground and getting back home was like, what has happened in 2 hours?
Yes.
Like it was crazy.
That Thursday, because I remember even the night before, that's when, even when you got online, you're like, okay. Because initially, there was one voice. We are going to the
Occupy,
streets of Tuesday. And
Right.
even that day for Occupy Parliament, it was one voice. Today, the objective is to Occupy Parliament. I remember even speaking to my friends and they're like, listen, we are going to Parliament because this is what everyone wants.
Yeah.
Occupy State House, the night before is the first time I went online and it was completely
Confusion.
divided.
Yeah.
I remember being like, okay, if it's not one voice, then maybe it's not a good idea.
But you see, that's why I kept on saying that we have to be united by ideology. But we conflated the 25th for an ideology. It was an issue. It was issue-based. Bro, if we yap long enough, we'll find that maybe we fundamentally disagree. Maybe Mwass does not like SDAs.
True.
Okay, that end, he does not like SDAs.
Na kwenye oxygen yenye yote.
Yeah. But for the 25th, we all agreed.
Yeah, this
All
is
aside,
it was
this.
one
we're gonna
unit.
do this.
Yeah, and it was successful.
Yes, and then now when that so Occupy, and then I feel like I buy into the attention, and that's the thing which I feel like I should have disabused myself of that air of importance. But then it's a rush when now everything you say is suddenly it goes viral.
It's
everything
headlines.
you do,
And this is
it's headlines.
happening to you for the first time? Of course.
This is now the first
On
time,
such a
especially on
huge
Twitter,
level,
on such a huge
yeah.
level. Because I used to just be the guy for music and mental health, and it was like a nice little circle.
bubble.
Yes, but now on a national scale, when everything you do, you insult someone, it becomes a thing. You say, so I bought into that nonsense. That's one of my greatest undoings. And because I would have been more objective looking back. And so after that happens, now police presence, now, okay, 25th, people now die. More people, and now we are seeing the worst state. You know, you see someone's brains on Parliament Road and those kinds of things. And then now I meet people, I think, in July. July is when I formally meet the other frontliners. And then I get to interact with the people who've been doing this. And I met them by chance because I met like a guy, they're very brave people whose stories we did not highlight. And that's the thing which I kept on doing because the media was yearning to have a single story or a single hero. And I kept on saying, we cannot have a single hero. Talk to that person, talk to that person.
But you're enjoying the spotlight as well.
I was.
Yeah.
I was. But the other thing which I did is I was, at every chance I got, I shared it with as many people as I could. Because my idea was, enambele ulete watu. So I kept on saying, it has to be this way, it has to be this way. Yeah, and then now in July, it stops being an Occupy Parliament. It morphs into the Ruto must go narrative. And then now I feel like I'm going on. I have to keep on going on because the crowd is divided 50-50. And then on Saba, I get now like the biggest embarrassment of my life.
What happened?
People are in Uhuru Park, and there's like a peace concert.
The concert.
Yeah. And Kwambox is a lovely lady.
Yeah, she called you on stage.
Kind of has always rooted for me. I don't think she did it out of malice. And she looked at me and she said, I know you're going through a lot right now. but somehow these are people you've been on the struggle with.
True.
And it's coming right after Calligraph Jones. And the crowd had been asking for more of Kali. And he had figured quite the show.
Of course. The OG was respected.
Hey! OG alipiga show, and then Kwambux calls me and said, okay, then you just remind them to take IDs and those kinds of things. So I get on stage.
Oh, God.
That's the
I watched that. That was painful.
Yeah.
And you see that this is the thing which I was doing. I kept on saying that, asante.
Itakumwagikia. Just be careful. Because it's sparkling still.
Sparkling.
Should I? It's okay.
Usifungue hivyo utaibika. Eke sideways view. Very nice. Chance kufunza kazi.
Please.
Wale.
Wewe ndio ukimfundisha bado atakufundisha. Hafundishiki. Yaani mwalimu wangu saizi angekuwa amefurahia. Angejua nimesema mtu hafundishiki na nimezungumza lugha yani Swahili sanifu. Hafunziki.
The disappointment continues.
Ole wazee.
Angekuwa amepatia sufuri.
Mwalimu Kingai.
Kama Kingori. Shit, na vile nilikuwa nimeshine na with that Swahili. Anyway, yes.
Ooh.
Yeah.
So Sabasaba happens.
When I go for Sabasaba, and this time I'm getting like proper insults and trolls and those kinds of things. And but the banter was elite.
The banter was elite.
Martin Luther.
Martin Luther King was.
win.
And at that time,
ningekuwa best yako, ningekuwa na namba yako, ningekufuadia.
Actually, at that time, everyone has just told me, please don't, just let it slide.
Yeah,
on
keep
social media,
cool.
wachana nayo. I see it, and I'm like,
I
come back and type, Martin Luther King is elite.
No,
I was
truly.
like, tuweke hizi vitu tuka Martin Luther nayo ni ngori. But anyway, so I get there on Sabasaba. So I went for Sabasaba to see. I said, if the people reject me here, if they beat me up, then I'm like, okay, so I'll step away.
Yeah.
And so I work my way in the crowd. So uko pali nilikuwa tulijibamba and we were dancing.
Bado umevaa suti.
Nimevaa suti,
Of
bro.
course. Umemwona kama na suti.
Nimevaa suti hapo hivyo. It was like was just a brown tweed.
Sasa kama nishaimwona kama hajavaa suti, si nitamwona hiyo suti ingine.
I don't know what you guys do in private.
Exactly. Maneno yako hatujui.
Hey, happy Pride.
I can't.
So we figure Uhuru Park, and Uhuru Park is a madness. So after
Wait. Grow up.
I danced with people.
Happy Pride, guys.
After we Denis, we've worked the crowd and those things. So Nico like it's just a few people.
Yeah.
Like 2 people looked at me. I was like, "I don't know I'm like, it's 2 out of
1,000 plus people, whatever.
Out of the 3 that I met. But
2 out of 3 is quite close, bro.
optimism. The glass is half full. Yeah, so now we do the dance and sasa there's a person when tulikuwa tumekutana naye kwa front akasema hapana ufai kuko hapa twende huko chini. So he petitions me security and then they walk me there. Kena Boni sees me and Boni is very graceful at the time and he's like, oh no, you can come in. And Senator Okiya Omtata is there. It's the first time I meet him. And so we are chilling and then Kwambuk sees me and she's like, oh yeah, come. I ponder that stage. Hey.
Then the people told you. So you live there like...
And it's a domino. It starts with one person and those guys uko nyuma bado hawajajua nini na happen. Oh, and then it grows and I'm seeing it. And I'm trying to hit them with a Viva Comrades Viva. As in, and you see this is a whole stadium.
Yeah.
Damn.
It's a wall of sound. I was numb. Nikasema sawa basi. So I got down there and SPM buzz guys are like, so
Kido. How do you feel right now?
Yeah. So I sat there and I was like, that went the way it went. However, these are the issues. Good governance, accountability, war on graft, those kinds of things. But I'm crestfallen when I go home, and now that's the first blow. I'm Googling presidents who were booed.
Nilikuwa dhani ana Google crestfallen.
No, but wait, I have a question because it's something that you've said.
Yeah.
And you said you went specific to see like if the people were still going to.
Yeah, because there was the mentality that there's the online crowd and there's the actual physical crowd.
But what's the importance? Whether people are aligned with your ideologies or not. What exactly were you on the ground for?
Safety. Because the people were my shield. So I was like, if I've lost the people, then
it's done.
Yes,
okay,
then now it's done. Because anytime at Fika protests, I had a throng that was dedicated. They were just like, I remember one time we're protesting and there's a cop who's looked at us and ametunini. But there's, there used to be like some fun times during the protest where both of us tumechoka. Like the lorry is there and the cops have sat on the Monday. It's down there. It's wameka hivi, and then even the protesters are like this.
Even half time.
Yeah, so all of us, hey, you know what?
The Spider-Man meme.
No, it's like that.
Naambia na half time.
Yes, fixes. So everyone's chilling, and then someone from Muko Nyuma comes with the whistle, and then
it starts.
And then action.
I remember there's a kid, there's like a bunch, I don't know where these 6 people came from. And we were supposed to cross from, there's like a Naivas. Was it Tomboya Street? Tomboya is funny. And we were supposed to we're supposed to cross, and this guy just comes in front of me and tells the cop, ndio upige risasi, lazima unipige risasi. Takes me back to my hiding zone, which is uko nyuma nation. But so the people, I had the people. So I said, shield, yes, and I said, let me see if I still have this, I'll go on with the protest, I'll still go on with the thing. So I go back home and I'm like, oh yeah, it was such a horrible thing, and I'm crying and I'm feeling small. It's crazy. I'm like, bas, utalijua jiji. And then I get cancelled again now when I have the altercation with the doctor.
At home, do you have a support system?
Yeah, so waombolezaji walikuwa wamekuja at the almost night vigil of mwenda zake.
Oh my.
Wale wenye walikuwa wanajua huyu.
The people who rescued me the night of the attempt. So they're there, and the
guys are going home too.
Yes.
Okay. So so when you mentioned earlier about auditing the guys who are at the forefront, is it because you believe there's people who received money for the protests?
Believe.
Sparkles.
Your belief is I believe Mwass can wear another suit.
So you know people. Hey, I like that.
That's belief.
So so there's people that received money for the protest?
Yes.
From who?
Yes, from a lot of people.
But like in good faith, like you guys are going out.
Was there an agenda?
I guess my question,
all money comes in good faith.
Okay, so I guess my question is, so then is there people that were actually paid
to further an agenda?
Yeah, yes. Or to keep the protest going?
There are people who got more money to sustain the protests. Yeah.
And when you say sustain,
like keep it going.
To keep it going. So you remember,
rally people
collectively we had agreed that we are going to the streets for the finance bill. And then it suddenly became
this, that,
Ruto must go. It became this. It became now we have to. We wanted
Thursday, Tuesday.
Yes,
Thursday,
it was
Tuesday,
everything. There was and there was a lot of. I think these are things which ought to be divulged after we are at like a safe place, because my reasoning was, even after everything, if people believe that some people are good for the movement, there's no need to discredit them. The only time I actually even started talking about this is when I heard some of them, like, they were chatting shit.
About you?
Yeah. And I'm like, yeah, if the books were to be opened, minta kwa sawa.
So then would this be money coming from people locally here or internationally?
Both.
Or both?
Both.
It was both?
Both.
Okay.
In all honesty, even I received some money. Where someone was like, oh, take this 20 ngwizi, take this whatever.
20K.
Yeah, 100. Yeah. Yeah, there was the occasional just 20, 50, 100, not just to keep going back. Well, I asked people for money for very specific things. I was like, I need this much because we need vuvuzelas, we need water, we need fare, and people were hiding at the time. People were swapping houses and those kinds of things. And yeah, there was that. But then there was money from those a huge amount of money coming into the country that was not well spent. That's all I can say. That someone says we need, for example, however much. I know like a specific case for like 8 mic, and then people do like FOSOC. They dump FOSOC in a social justice center. And here, these people have never seen, for example, all this money. And these are things which have not already started during this protest. That's why I keep on saying, like, the Kenyan left has had this problem that we blame the existing, like, bulwark parties for. And
so like a clean 7.6 enough.
Yeah, and even that 400 fizzles. And that's the thing which I kept on saying, that, you see, like, how can we be holed up in Java and guys are protesting? And then all we do is come out for the press address and to make demands of the president. And at the time, before I'd seen the game, people were like, oh, we ameanza kuja associate now, Atu is probably working. And I was like, what's the wrong with associating myself with certain people? But then I came close to it and I saw, and I was like, ay.
But this is happening like late in the protest. Like, this is now guys taking advantage of, okay, there's a critical mass action. Guys are genuinely out because they've been saying, please change this. The guys are not changing. So then guys, because even the initial Tuesday and Thursday were aligned with when guys were voting in parliament, if you remember. Because guys were like, hey, guys, we've literally asked, change it, but Nakata. So on the day that you're voting,
we'll be there.
So even Thursday was the last day that they were. And those guys were going to vote, yes. So this is now guys taking advantage of that.
That's what I would say. I would say the last...
2 legs.
The last honest protest
was Tuesday.
Was
the 25th of June.
Which was Occupy Parliament.
Yes, Occupy Parliament was the
so
last.
So after that, now agenda came in.
After that, now
I don't think it was so hard to notice that,
truly.
you know, there's things are, you know, things are changing.
I was a fool, man. I believed it till 8th of August.
Damn.
I had never missed a single protest. It didn't matter when, it didn't matter why.
How many
like,
people?
Nilienda zote. Damn. And I believe, I remember on the 8th of August, I gave the roadmap to the New Republic on 7th at night. After everything. This is even after I've been cancelled. I had a shouting match with that Daktari. But I tell people this: we're going to the New Republic, and this is what the New Republic will look like. There will be a caretaker government, and the people who will be in the caretaker government will not be in the New Republic's government. And whatever. I went to KBC to understand it because we were going to announce on our official national broadcaster that we have taken, the state has fallen.
Was it going to be like a silent coup or like...
No, it was going to be a proper one.
A proper one?
Yes, it was going to be a proper one because I was even, on 7th, I'm being told that, toka hapo. And this is the thing which I'm like, if Gava wants to find you, Gava is going to find you.
Definitely. Regardless.
I remember a very unexpected call. Ambiwa utapele toka hapo, utakujiwa, and I was supposed to be flown to Malindi until the heat died down.
So who's
to deflate a source who's in Gava.
Okay.
Yeah.
So and then who's supposed to fly you down to Malindi?
I'm supposed to be taken to Malindi so that I don't make it for the protest. You know, 8th was not supposed to happen at all.
Okay.
So it was take away as many. Because remember, 8th fails not because people were not willing. It fails because there's roadblocks from outside the city. Uko chini, wele bridge, wherever, and people are being taken out of mats and those kinds of things.
Yeah.
So it's just a handful.
Because even 25th, I still believe that if, say, our parents came out and then it became like it's everyone,
it would have been very
things
different.
would have changed on that same night.
Truly.
But then when it became just the kids and all the parents stayed at home, you know, they deployed the military. And the military, as much as there was, people still don't know. Would the military have protected people? They have shot or arrested people? We don't know. That's the reality. But the thing is, this is the first time anyone is seeing military on their own citizens.
Yeah.
So of course people are scared. Bro, when those, what are those things called? Those military trucks.
Tankers.
When the tanks, tankers or trunks.
Ilikuwa inaitwa Panzer kwa GTA, ulikuwa na type shit called Panzer inaanguka.
As soon as there's those images of those things leaving barracks, Langata and Pickle, of course everyone is going to their homes. Because I don't know if these guys are coming to bomb me or arrest me, and then it's the military.
And you can imagine even the tonality between those guys and the guys on the streets. they find you, the way they talk to you is not the same way they talk to like a 60-year-old who would just be going around
Minding
their
their
Right,
business.
right.
So if I feel like I don't want to say they failed us because I know they had their own battles back in the day. But if that consignment of people, mengeoko kizungu
Imeanza kutoroka.
hao watu wangekuwa
Ushasema consignment.
Tumia cohort is better.
cohort na hiyo ndio natafuta.
Right.
Hiyo cohort ingekuwa like unaniona mimi na mzai wangu na mzai wake.
It would
Have been different.
But I think if we just stayed,
How?
That's another thing. If we
just
didn't go
stayed
home,
But also think
and
about
not
this.
went, because remember, and even state officers have admitted, they lost the republic on 25th.
True.
We are a democratic republic. True. Power lies
with the people,
With the people.
with the people, but we donated to Bunge. Occupy
For
Parliament
representation,
was the true
Significant.
Yes, yeah. So the Parliament was.
That was a big statement.
That was
the
the thing.
ultimate statement.
I think that was a shocker for them as well.
Yeah, they didn't see it, and then now they declare it was almost declared a state of emergency of sorts. It was not as they need, but then the military comes out at 8:30 in the morning the next day.
No, the military came out the same night, the same evening. Because remember you guys calling me to leave town?
Yeah.
Because you had seen the news.
I think if officially,
Oh, yeah.
officially, the constitutional way military comes the next day,
The next morning.
the next morning.
Okay.
Yeah.
So before DM, I want to play you this clip. This is you on K24.
As we wind up in a minute, kindly. What next for Kenya?
You cannot ask me what next if I do not have a now. You cannot ask me what next in terms of employment if I'm unemployed. What we are saying is we are inviting the entire nation to rethink what a future looks like.
I think I can just leave it at that as well. Yeah. So then my question would be, what changed? Because now it feels like, you work with the guys that
were protesting
They
all
were
that
protesting.
while.
Because I remember during the process, I remember a lot of guys used to like asking me the question, what next? And it felt like it bothered you a lot. Because even here we were like, why do they
do you
keep
mean?
asking us what next?
Right.
We are also trying to figure this thing out.
Yeah.
And we don't need an answer now.
Immediately.
But we have ideas of what we want. No, not ideas. We have an idea of what this could look like, but we know
We're
exactly
working
what we
toward-
want.
yeah.
Right.
So then what happened? Yeah, what changed? And also, as you answer this, as all this protest thing is happening, in the back of your mind, do you have ambitions of getting into politics or not? Like last year
at the
time, like
time-
now, were you thinking of politics? Was it anything in the back of your
No, last year time like now is Feb.
mind? Yeah.
Captain Obvious. Captain Obvious. Captain Obvious.
Do not.
At this time, I'm still. This is man versus bear time.
Gotcha.
Remember?
Yeah.
There's a whole debate online that I did not understand.
Yeah.
And I remember saying, I was on the side of TikTok that was like, why would anyone choose a bear? So those are the battles I'm fighting. I'm not even thinking about national politics.
Issues, yeah.
And so, but in 2022, after Raila loses, I remember I made like a page that was called KASMUEL McOURE on Facebook. And I posted one video and said, I will be contesting in 2027. But I forgot all about that page, so I'm just vibing. I didn't even involve myself in the 2023 protest because there was an exact same protest.
The ODM one, yeah.
Yes,
Yeah.
that we did this year.
Yeah.
Last year, sorry. So I was not doing the protests for... at the time I'm doing the protests, I'm very clear about what I'm trying to do. Until one time we had a meeting and I remember asking the people, then guys, fine, we might not say it out loud, but when do we intend to occupy Parliament legally? And my friends were like, we don't even want to take power.
Hey.
And I was like, all this for vibes too, just for another grant next year. So it means this is what we'll be doing for the next however many years. And I think after I was cancelled for, when did I start talking about taking political power after Osoro. After I'm seen with Osoro in a photo, that's when now I'm just like, now the only way we sort this out is politically.
Wait, before we even jump into this ODM thing, so let's just backtrack. Because even as the protests were going on, of course, when the tune changed, also you were very vocal about Ruto must go.
Right.
Then Gachagua is about to be impeached.
Yeah.
You
Bomas?
make your appearance at Bomas.
Yes.
But your tune changed.
Yes. At Bomas.
Yes.
Bas.
I need to understand what happened there from Ruto must go to
Gachagua
Moja
must
Lazima Ende.
Now that is the ODM question. Yeah.
So you're ready with ODM, but not publicly?
No,
we don't know.
with ODM. Remember, Baba puts out a statement, and I put out a counter statement, and tell him all these things. I'm respectful, but I hit heavy, and I tell him, at least don't disrespect us. I say those kinds of things. And so this happens, this is October. So I was saying both. And that morning of the impeachment, I'm doing an interview at K24. And they were showing Malindi, Kisumu, Nyeri, wherever, Maralal, those kinds of things. And I'm like, why aren't you showing Nairobi? Show me KICC. And over the break, the news anchor Chacha says, it's been moved to Bomas. I tweet, nasikia public participation imepelekwa Bomas, but all of these guys have to go.
Yeah.
That's what I
remember.
tweet.
Everyone has to go.
Yeah.
Yes.
You were very vocal.
I'm like, I actually remember I said both of these clowns have to go.
Yeah.
That's the tweet.
Because we were fighting for
everyone has to go home.
Yes. And how this thing works for me is, so this is Friday. Every time my rest state is maybe like a depressive state. And I'm like, I don't know, I hate this life. And then suddenly one thing shows up. I just met a lady we were doing a lot of conversation around the Kenya we want.
Is she hot?
You're complicating this because now if I do this, I'm implying.
That's okay. If she's
But she's older.
But she could be
It's
old
okay.
and hot.
But
Wait, kwani wanyanya si wa hot?
Haujawahi nyanyako majibato.
hot sauce.
It's
Okay.
hot sauce and other short stories.
I see why you're good at debates.
Love it.
Your comebacks are just very spot on.
Yeah.
So we met on Tuesday and we were supposed to have a prayer meeting on Saturday.
Who is we?
Behind the lady.
Yes, the lady is a lady called
You're
Esther
meeting this
Moneki.
lady to pray with her on Saturday. No, I'm just asking.
If you are wise, you day wise.
No, I know. Stop spoiling this thing.
Is her spine still working?
No. She runs a very lovely leadership thing called Lapid Leaders. And we were doing a whole series called
Lappy Leaders.
Lappy Leaders. Hey, okay.
I feel like the more you say, the more
It
you...
just,
We're going deeper.
Way deeper. Hey.
These children are raised badly.
Yeah, no,
Talk
for sure.
to me.
Yeah.
Okay, so Lappy Leaders.
Lapid.
Oh,
Lapid.
okay.
That one was not raised at all.
So the whole thing is trying to unite the younger voices. At this time, the other thing which I also must admit, I go through, I navigate this protest rather insecure because I'm consistently being compared to someone.
Yeah.
So there was comparison between me and I don't know who, me and Cairo, me and who, and then Morara comes up. And now it's a comparison now, like people have forgotten and those kinds of things. We also have to talk about, you talked about JK and Narasha. These happen before the impeachment.
Yes.
So that impeachment, now that you asked about the impeachment, so I get to Bomas and the goal was because all young people...
The goal.
Finally.
Finally.
We get to know... Supiga pa madrrrr.
Kwanza jibu the goal.
Yes.
But the goal.
The goal was because all young people are going to be at the same place and all the frontliners, all the leading voices, because that's what we'd been doing on our socials, all of us, we would be forced to work together. So I went to Bomas to set myself up to be forced to, because everyone was like, oh, nini, and no one wanted to meet the other. We had all our, and we were rife with disagreement, like all through the movement thing. and now we were going to be together. This was the second unifier. This was because now it was public participation. So it was rather safe than every other thing we'd been doing. It was the second time now the movement we had a possibility.
Okay.
So now I get to Bomas in the hopes that we're going to be forced to work together.
Who's going to force you?
Circumstances. Because after you do the thing, we go to debrief. Yeah, we would definitely maybe drive as a crow flies and go and sit somewhere. And then we'd say, okay, fine, guys, this is what it is. Because, I think if that happened, we would have a totally different narrative. Because I get to meet Morara much later, and we exchange a few jabs on telly and those kinds of things. But I'm like, everyone just wants us for shock value. True. So I said, I'm never going to insult you. Yeah, in any station that I do, you are now our party leader. This is what it is. I'll accord you the respect. But now we get into Bomas. I come into Bomas the way I went for all protests, because I thought it was like all protests. I go alone, park my car somewhere, sneak in, nyuma. Then when I see people I know, I don't care. I'm in a tax, and then I walk into the gate. There's cops. They're trying to hand me. They're like, hey, kwani wewe pia umekuja hapa? Umeleta hiyo nini yako hapa? I'm like, hapana, afande, sijakuja kuvuruga mkutano, nimekuja public participation. We speak, I talk to him nicely, muuliza yeye hapana, kwanza kazi iko aje? I'm like, kulingana na vile huyu ameongea, acha huyu apitie huku. So I'm like, yeah, if you talk to a cop nicely and they give you that, I'm like, okay, fine. Also, mini Gen Z, so maybe you need respect your Gen Z. I get in, and there's a babe who sees me. Bomas is like a round thing. She sees me from the other side, and anasema, ndio ule mwingine kama amekuja kutuharibia mkutano atatujua. I'm like, what the hell? These are young people. The moment people see me like this, they start running towards me. I'm like, ndio irende. But they're not chanting my name. So I'm like, kidogo, nini, I've lost money. I ran into that back room, which has like there's a place where the VIP were eating. So it's a round thing. There's several entrances. It's here, and there's like a VIP kitchen or lounge area type, and then this is the podium. So I ran into this place. I ran in there, and the waitresses who are in there close the door, but everyone's just like this. And here now I can't inject because I'm afraid.
Kuna ma VIP.
See what now wako podium.
Podium already, things are the program has started.
The program has started. It's hip and happening. So I'll tell you now context much later. So I get in here and I'm scared and everyone's recording. And you see, at that time, I'm not doing too well in terms of public approval. But then there's a guy who walks in with shades and a jacket and...
Don't blow my cover.
Sorry. Man. I was going to change the story when I got there. But yeah. So I talk to him. I chungulia the window and the waiters are like, apana usitoke. But also, some of them are recording. I'm like, and that's because I've offended people at that time. I've done Osoro, I've been seen. So they're like government. So they're waiting. So he walks in and I think he works for government. So I'm like, so let's say, because MPs are seated there. I'm like, how does he get to traverse this crowd? And I'm like, so let's assume you're working for the government. Let's just say, so what would those bullshit questions, what should the young people do? So you are with UDA, right? And he's like, no. I'm the MP for Madari and I'm not with UDA. I'm in ODM. I was
MP
like,
for?
He's the MP for Madari, Wakili Oluoch.
Okay.
And he's like, ODM. I'm like, no. I was saying just for example. And then now we talk and he's like, oh, you're a rather cool guy. Take a photo and he's like, are you leaving just now or whatever? I'm like, to be honest, I'm really afraid. The young boys hapo nje wanataka kunifinya. And that's why I'm here. I'm in hiding. So I can't wait. Can you, I've seen you can traverse the crowd. Can you help me? And he's like, do you want to leave or stay? And he's like, I'm like, first, I just want my belonging to be safe because I still had my phone and my wallet. Just the money that was outside, in the outside pockets had gone. He's like, no, give your phones to my security guy and everything. And if you want to sit, come and sit. So that's how I get onto the podium. I'm not speaking yet. I meet a guy who I think is a bouncer. And so I start talking to him, asking, nini, kukuaje. And I ambia, hapa kuwa free. Kisha kaa hapa, kuna mtu atakuguza. And funny thing, the moment I walked through that crowd, I was like, they're not baying after my blood anymore. So I asked him, this is a MCA, lovely MCA called Stazo. And I'm like, so nini na happen hapa? How's the ground? What's the nini? I ask him Gachagua, what's the going? Then I go back now. I go like, ongea na vijana, kuuliza vijana kitu anasikia. Kamuuliza vijana, Gachagua anaenda. Gachagua anaenda. Na Ruto, usijaribu kuleta mambo ya Ruto hapa. So now I sit. I'm here. Everyone I've ever insulted is on this podium. Alai is over there. Kila mtu was pasanye there, I don't know. All these politicians, even like in a KJ, they're all in this dais. So I'm like, I've walked into a trap.
Yeah.
I've walked into a trap. And after talking to this guy, he says, the people who are here as well, who are like part from UDA, the youth. So anytime someone will be given a microphone, they'd go down and speak from down there. But once TJ saw me, like, this young man, ata usiende huko chini, come and talk from here.
KJ?
Yeah, TJ. And I throw some dog whistles. I'm like, vijana power, vijana oye, viva Gen Z, viva. At that time, there's only one thing that would have followed that thing. The chant Ruto must go. I throw like 5 dog whistles and nobody. This is Bomas is full. No one is shouting. I'm like, niko wapi huku? I even see like the MPs over here on tenterhooks. They're like, and then I talk and I'm like, oops, sawa. It's not happening. I go on a spiel and say something like, oh, nini, no, I start health, education, vijana hawana kazi. I talk about a broken clock being right twice. I'm like, this is one time which Parliament is making a good decision. And I say, but we want good health, accountability, just the issues that we kept on speaking to. And then I finish up and saying, tutumalize ukabila and those kinds of nonsense. And nini, Gachagua, go! The whole Bomas is crazy. After that speech, everyone sits comfortable in their chairs. And now it's like I've been absolved of all those people I had insulted. First of all, now beef is quashed.
Yeah.
Even them, they're like,
Yes,
but
KJ was like,
everyone
like,
is
yeah?
crazy. So I have to leave Bomas still. It's ODM guys who helped me to leave. And they're like, umebonga fiti sana. And again, you see the euphoria from the crowd. I'm like, yeah, if these are young people and that's what they're saying, hey, I'm cool.
But my thing is, how does it come from all of them have to go to only Gachagua must go
that's what
at this moment?
Yes, because
that's
now
what I'm struggling to
in the
reconcile
crowd,
myself with there.
Remember, I go and consult and ask the ground what they'll usijaribu kusema maneno ya Ruto hapa. But remember, these are the guys who wanted to beat me up.
But you're not at Bomas representing anyone. You're at Bomas representing yourself.
Myself.
Yeah.
Yes, and this is now where I see that disconnect. Because now, I totally believe that Vox Populi at Vox Day, the voice of the people is the voice of God. If this is what they've said and those kinds, I even asked these people up here, like Leo, tunafanya public participation, yeah, Gachagua. So again, it's survival. I'm like, I've walked into a trap.
Because Morara was there and
I'm coming there.
Both of them have to go.
Yes, I'm coming there.
Okay.
So they helped me, ODM guys helped me get into my car, like a kingly escort. I was not touched, my phones were handed to me, okaambiwa funga dirisha, simameni aende. Then my phone starts blowing up. I call my girlfriend, I ask her, Ebu, listen to that speech and tell me if there's something I said wrong. Then Gioni, I see that Morara had been beaten up.
Yeah.
Because all of them have to go.
Yes.
But clearly you could tell it was goons. Because
Yes.
where politicians are, there's always goons.
Yeah. Yes.
I'm surprised you're alone.
And 2. What are you guys? What do you mean?
Hey.
Maybe
acha nikwambie,
Gooning.
mimi ukienda na watu wote hivi kama goons. Mimi ni ule wa kwenda kushtaki. Mimi sinitegemea tumepigwa mnyongolo.
Right. So, like, I didn't see it. We came into Bomas at different times. But the way the FYP brings it is Mariah is being attacked and I'm here. And at the time, I think I handled the situation rather badly because I was reactive. I've consistently been battling with this acceptance things. I'm like, oh, screw you guys, go to hell. Because I'm like, if I'd seen it, I most definitely would have spoken about it because at this time, I'm not aligned to any political party.
Yeah.
And then I see I have been cancelled. I remember on Friday, I got to a point, I watched it again. I kept on asking everyone, what's wrong with this speech? I don't see it.
Now, even till now, you don't see anything wrong with the speech? Based on how you positioned yourself?
Yeah, it was survival. That was I made it out alive. So
Okay.
I would, if we had a different situation, if we had better mobilization, because again, I keep on telling people keep on saying, oh, Siju, the politician they dish out money. I'm like, but what's our equivalent of the 500 shilling note? Because if we came out to Bomas as we had previous protests, we would not even need to have that kind of conversation.
But also there was the option of, then if you feel cornered, there's the option of not
Just not
speaking
pull
at
up.
all. No, you're there already.
I'm there already.
But you feel cornered, but there's also the option of, okay,
will
I don't
take the
agree
stand.
with what it looks like the majority want, then I don't have to get on the platform. Because not everyone who spoke.
Utotokaje hapo na siko ati huko ndani huko kwenye niko kwa podium.
Si unatoka tu. Kwani uliingia aje?
You've already been attacked.
No, like I don't think you guys understand the amount of violence that's wielded at political rallies. And this is why I keep on saying to anyone and anyone who's venturing into politics, do not go to a crowd which you have not mobilized. I would not have left that place.
Okay.
I would not have left it. And now that progresses into me meeting Raila Odinga on Monday.
How did that happen? Like who called who? Who did you call? Who
So when I sit
you?
down with Baba on Monday.
I'm asking how does the Baba thing happen? How do you end up
so
there?
I'm being cancelled. There's a call I've been lingering to meet him. There are people who've been trying to organize meetings. Some young people are saying, please come and meet Jacom and those kinds of things. But I'm like, me, I'm for the people.
Yeah.
And I'm being cancelled now proper. Like everyone, I'm being threatened. I've lost 20,000, 30,000. And I've said, Kwende Nyuko. So I'm like, if I'm going to blunder...
Lost 20,000, 30,000 what?
Followers.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I remember that time.
Yes.
Okay. Yeah.
And I'm like, because this is the weekend that has blunders, let me bring everything together. I was like, maybe I'll survive this, and then I get need again. I was like, no, everything now happens at the same time. So I called and asked, can a meeting then be arranged? I know Honorable Odinga has been looking for me. Then I'm happy to meet him on Monday. And remember, at that time, I also died politically. So this thing now sort of brings me back into focus. And I meet him at the Capitol on Monday, and then he invites me over to the house on Tuesday. And then that now begins a whole friendship and me seeing protest from his side. And I'm like, now I've been seen and people have already said he's gone. And I'm like, fine.
Done.
These are the cards I've been dealt. Now I shall.
But do you understand why from the outside, even till now, young people
Why
feel like
Kenyans
you
are mad?
betrayed them?
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Absolutely.
Because these are people who, like you said earlier, you had like a human shield. These are people who would protect you literally with their lives. So for those people to see that you are there with them and then suddenly you are not with them and you're with the people who oppress them, then for sure these guys are like, okay, you took advantage of the protest to align
your own
yourself
benefit.
and to benefit yourself.
So I'll tell you what. You see, the most interesting part is the people I was with, like the little group that we ended up forming to protect each other, sort of understood that move. And this is the thing which dialectically I didn't understand, in the sense that I felt there are people who felt more entitled to my life and to my actions over myself. I was like, attack me on the issues. Tell me this is what you're saying wrong. This is what you're doing wrong. And especially this comes at a time when I've said now I'll pursue it politically. At the time, we did not have a political formation.
Yeah.
And there are kids who tried to form it, and we drove them out of the internet. And I was like, this is continuously not being a democratic space. And in the left where I was being used as a poster child. Like people would go and want to form their things, but then they're like, but KASMUEL will be here. So I was the guy who used to be taken to the marketplaces because I would attract crowds. And I was like, I don't think this is how I envision change being. And I would not, and I'm saying this as a person who was a spokesperson of over 60 organizations. And there were missteps, there are things which I would have done. I would have actually planned for it. This is the thing which I'm saying. I wish I went into it with the attitude that, I actually now want to occupy that thing. But be it as it may, it's the other thing which I said is I just hate the idea of us going to protest and nobody cares. Like, we go for protests and, like, who now do you know? Because I saw you guys at the protests.
Yeah.
Who do you know who can tip the scale towards the issues that we are speaking about?
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, so I'd tell you how I look at it. And I remember even I came on same seat and said when you went public about ODM, I was like, in terms of political moves, he's done the right move. Also, we had a lot of discussions during the protest because also our content changed during the protest.
Right.
Yeah, you know, we couldn't come here and just talk about Vera's ass anymore. You know, although that's okay.
No.
We touched it.
No, Vera asked that
Wait, no, not touched it. We touched. We touched on that.
we
touched on the subject.
We touched on it.
We touched on the subject.
All right.
Yeah.
Fair.
But I think,
But donka.
yeah, of course. But I think it was clear to us that it's a political move. Like, okay, we needed a political solution.
Right.
It was very clear to us.
Yeah.
So now I think the thing where I strongly believe a lot of people still feel betrayed up to date is in accountability.
Okay.
Or transparency in what you wanted to do past the movement.
Okay.
Because now the lack of that is now what makes people feel like you took advantage of a whole movement to just benefit yourself. And then when they see you with ODM and also what ODM did, because there's a time Raila himself, through his socials, tried to align with the movement, and the guys were like, no, we don't want politicians.
Don't do this,
and even I remember there's younger girls who are like, you know what, you fought the battle.
Yeah, and
leave this to us.
relax.
And Nini and the friends, you know. Then another handshake sort of happens. Suddenly, this guy's in government.
Okay.
And then clearly we're like, okay, so the ODM
picked a
also took
stand.
advantage of a whole movement just to get themselves positions in government. So when you align yourself with those people as well, and there's no accountability from your end or transparency from your end, that this is what I'm looking for. I don't think anyone would have been afraid if you wanted a political office or anyone would have bashed you for it. Actually, I feel like guys would have supported you.
Let me tell you.
Because guys felt represented by you even during the
I was
process,
bashed
you
for
know?
it, my bro. Unless I'm just in like the wrong corner.
That's what I'm saying. For me, I saw the bashing from outside.
Yeah.
I think what lacked is in just how you made those decisions and the lack of accountability and transparency. So guys still felt that you used that movement and took advantage of it to be like...
For me,
Yeah.
I'd say I think where most Kenyans feel like you kind of plead them was when this movement started. It was tribeless, leaderless, partyless. I think the fact that you were very clear from day one that no, I don't want to be politically affiliated with anyone. I don't want this, I don't want that. This is what the movement wants. I'm moving with what the movement is saying.
Yeah.
Then one morning we wake up, you're shaking. You know, first of all, the Bomas song, everyone was like, what's going on? Next thing, Osoro.
Yeah.
Next thing, you're in Baba's house, you guys are shaking hands. Next thing, I mean, ODS are like, weren't you just leaderless, tribeless, and partyless a few months ago? Like, what is going on?
Now, I saw it the exact same way.
Yeah.
That when you're on the front lines, that world shrinks. Like I've seen all the frontliners at close quarters. By day, everyone's chanting down with the American embassy down. In the evening, all of us are at dinner. So even so juicy, people are trying to say, look at who are hanging out at the British High Commission.
I saw that.
That photo.
Yeah.
But I'm like, the part you're not saying is that I remember even calling out the British High Commission saying, how can you meet us for 10 minutes in the evening and you spent an entire morning with the civil societies? Like for them, the photos don't make it. So I did an analysis and said, I've sat with you guys. I'm seeing the things that you're doing. The guys who flew out, man, in the middle of the protest. Guys went to SA. Guys went to Venezuela. Guys went to America.
Cayman Islands.
Guys...
Oops.
Cape Town to Egypt. Cape Town to Cairo.
Umeshift gear bana. Hey.
Gear is actually very good.
Wow, guys.
La.
More spice, cayenne.
Mwenye ana edit. Unaona hii kamera. Unaona hii kamera. Nataka zoom in pole.
Okay.
Hii badala ya pilipili mnega cayenne pepper.
Wait, to deflect.
Sana. So, like,
Shidenu mnaweza potea. Leo tupige tumalizize maswali. So the next time you come back, the next time unakuja sasa. Bro.
Sasa hapa utapatana na Catherine Kasavuli watatu.
Kweli. Nataka hivyo sana. So, now I've observed the movement in close quarters, and I'm like, I don't want to be associated with this. Like I've met the leading characters, and unfortunately, those were the leading voices. So I'm like, I want to forge a path of my own. And the thing maybe I didn't have very good PR. The way I saw other people do it is, if they're gonna do something compromising, they would prompt you the night prior. They start with, I've been receiving calls from such and such and such. And then tomorrow, and it has been around this. Then tomorrow, when the photo shows up, it is well received. Sasa mimi nilikuanga na kaivi.
Unatokelezea tu.
Inatokea. Now the last tweet yangu ni
must go.
So I go like, how do you mean? Like even the time I'm seen with Osoro, guys ran late for a meeting. Tulikuwa United Kenya Club.
What meeting was it?
So you know, the protest had organizers.
I don't know.
It might have been leaders.
Listen, up to date, I don't know where the flyers was coming from. Me just
wake up and see posters.
The protest might have been leaderless, but the protest had a central committee of sorts.
And were you in that committee?
I was co-opted because I became famous.
Okay.
So I rose from the ground.
Who else was there?
Co-opted apunda. And niko that na siji co-opted.
Just your regular.
The regular faces.
Yeah, your regular faces.
Like I mean, like if you said the names, I wouldn't be surprised. Is what you're saying.
Yeah. Okay. That's what I'm saying.
Makes sense.
And okay, so what you guys?
So there was that, and then there was So we would panga streets and say you will mobilize this side, you will mobilize this side. Also, at least mkwena starting 50.
And you have
cadres.
And you'd have actual meetings.
Yes.
Okay.
And this would be, I don't know if this is a stupid question, but I'll just ask it.
Yeah.
This would be like, even the government would be inside it.
No.
No.
Okay. At the time, because man, and I hate to spill the beans about the thing.
Spill
At
it.
the time, I'm one of the Nini. It's not even this one. This one is not consequential. I didn't think at the time. I didn't know. I couldn't wrap my head around this concept of like being a state agent. I didn't understand how are you both of these things. It doesn't. I didn't. But I got a call. I'm not gonna say the name from whom. But I got a call from Canada. Like the guy who wears a hat. Looks like Mojo Jojo. What the hell, bro? I said I'm not gonna say the name.
You didn't say it.
Hey, listen.
You're not the one who said it.
Hey.
Move.
It's Miguna.
Okay, Kanye West. It was a Jewish doctor.
Nobody is a homecoming nikianza. It's taken a while to land. Okay. Yeah. So one time, like he called me on Signal, and he's like, one of the people you're working with works for the state. That's actually and he talks and he goes on and on. I couldn't believe it, man. It was crazy. The person he told me.
At what point did you go? Meguna.
No. You know, he received revolutionary greetings.
Yeah.
Also, we had been chatting.
Oh, so okay.
And
So
again, like
This is when you guys were showing love to each other on X.
Oh, boy.
Before you went orange.
Before you went to
before I go to Baba. And so he'd been texting me and he'd been calling me and be saying, oh, don't drive past this time. And he tells me, we've received credible information that this person works for the state. And I'm a full disclosure kind of guy. So I called him and I tell him, hey, listen, this is what I'm being told. I called a few friends and maybe you rubbished it. But then recently I told this to someone and that lady was like, oh yeah.
It's true.
Yeah. So it's
state agent.
So there are people, and I kept on saying, because there's the protest, the organic protest.
Yeah.
Then there's
agenda.
Hapa juu kidogo.
Yeah.
Then now there's how like Baba now them. Because Baba's guys were on the streets as well.
Yeah.
Even this whole tiff with the way Rigiji has to get out of Gava is something. Like, while we were out there for the issues, there were people who actually wanted an actual coup.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
I mean, it was not so hard to tell.
Yes, and so this it's just that the people who are communicating it are people we don't like.
True.
But
So altogether,
yeah, so we hate but
Yeah.
man, there was a proper agenda.
Which I think works in the favor of the government. True. Because even if the protest, as genuine as the protest started, there's no way there's a protest to that magnitude and the government is won't try to infiltrate. How?
Truly.
However,
at the very best, the government would like to maintain peace and order.
Yeah.
Because see, once they do that,
Yes.
wakisema si tumerudisha, hakuna
but for
kupigana, watu
once-
wapigani, watu watembei ni nini, then
Yeah.
you'd see like they're doing something.
Yes, but for once, this whole situation was working against the government. Yes, for once, all the forces and the people who actually wanted Ruto to go. That's why you hear a lot of times when people are saying, "Oh, sijui nini nini nini," they're saying these are sponsored by Gachagua.
Yeah.
There's a whole story over there that I hope they're gonna tell someday.
One day.
But yeah, now that happens, and going back to like the question, I would have preempted. But mi nilikuwa tu naangalia kitu nasema, okay, honestly, I'm tired of this. And now I've managed to, because I remember even the day I was leaving, because I didn't think I should have made it public, because I remember sitting with that cocoon and telling them, listen, this is what I see. You remember when the president went to Kisumu? I don't know. I was supposed to be in Kisumu. And I was called by a very senior person. And I was like, no, unless you book me a flight right now. I was like, kiddo, midnight. I'm like, oh, of course it didn't happen because I thought that was a trap. And I call them and I tell them, I'm seeing a thing here that's happening in Luo land, for example. Because I said, people have started reducing this to tribes. And in Luo land, there's now room for younger voices to come up and grow and those kinds of things. And I'm
you
like,
would be the
if this
perfect pawn.
Yeah, I'm like, if this is gonna happen and this is the formation, like we had this whole discussion at length, and I told them, so this is what it's gonna happen. This is one of the options. But then the other thing which I'd said is, I told Okeom Tata, I want to be to him what Babu Owino is to Raila. And I remember even there's a video of him holding like a huge document. I asked him, Senator, what is this? It's just a short document. How long did it take? I just did it over the weekend. And those kind of things. And Safaricom Consortium, those kinds of things. And then Friday it happens. And the people who we had organized so many meetings from Okea's office, by the way. But then...
Am I allowed to ask if these were paid gigs?
No.
No, not paid gigs.
They are not paid gigs, or I'm not allowed to ask?
No, you're allowed to ask. So you see, the thing that also I think made that organization fail is there are people who are getting money, but they didn't want to bring it to the table. So the reason why because you see this whole thing that's happening with this new political party, I was supposed to pull a lot of money from the diaspora because diasporans were very, very money happy.
Sure.
Yeah.
But I remember saying, and I remember that there was a time Masita Rus had a TIFF online and I had a TIFF to sort, because I'd been meeting certain characters and I was like, no, we have to be accountable. I'm like, Yanguni the least. We can't be fleecing Kenyans. Yanguni what?
How much?
I don't know. I forgot what that is. But anyways, I was like, Nini. Also, I was saying yangu ni photos too. I was saying yangu ni photos too.
Okay.
But we can't be doing this thing for money behind. So and this is the thing which, if you see, the frontliners will only ride on the banter that the people generate. They will retweet. But that's why I'm always saying, hey, Sema, I know I dare you to tell me the things which you think you can accuse me of. And then I say, you got money here. You ran away and went to this country and lied. You are working with this person. There's...
So is it a situation where everyone has a gun to everyone's head?
Yes.
Except
but sasa,
yours.
Mimi sina. Mimi, the only thing you can call me is a sellout because I went to ODM. Yeah, that's all. But you guys have been doing this and there's tea from even 2000.
Profiteers of...
There's tea from 2022. If you want to understand how rotten the left is, audit the 2022 election. That's where the nonsense happened. And it's a business. You think it's Akina ODM, UDA. These are the smaller parties that call themselves leftists. Anyway, so yeah, that's how it happens, and and this is just maybe a long-winded response to that accountability part. I could have done it better, but like with the cards that I was dealt at the time, that felt like the natural progression, and I don't regret it. I don't regret it because again, what would have been enough? Should I have died? Should I but a lot of the things, that's the thing which I keep on looking, and I keep on saying, then why do you want us to go for incessant protests? Because now I'm out of the Nini. If I go with Mwass and you guys with your dreadlocks, if you're seen wielding things, they're gonna shoot you guys. But why should he die?
Yeah.
Like what is the thing now? Because remember at the time it had already been flipped.
Yeah.
We'd already lost the propaganda. Now it had been turned into a Gachagua protest. So we couldn't have protested past that thing. And I kept on saying, I donated my body to the struggle. It would be different if I was not showing up for these things. And so that's where I was coming from. And it's a difficult situation, but that's how I saw it. And now I was like, I cannot stop.
Okay.
I joined ODM and I was like, then now I have to keep on saying the things here, as difficult as it might be to say those things. But yeah, the things have to keep on being said here. It would be interesting to see if the rhetoric changed. But also the other thing which I know, I must admit, further dented it is because I was seen in a photo with Ruto. And
bro, I still remember the suit. I don't know what color that is.
Green,
close to green, blue, something.
It was just the camera. I think it was a low quality camera.
Okay, but
it was Christmas time.
Bro, I remember such a big smile shaking Ruto's hand.
I think guys were more mad at the body the posture.
It was more on how excited you looked.
And the smile.
And I think that's a thing which
you brought it up. I'm like, I remember that image. I
might end up working on because generally I'm very deferent. When I meet a person, I want to. It's those things for
different nini.
Before to define Chaxy. Different.
I see different. I see like different. I'm looking for the word for
different. Like
I defer. I want to bestow more respect. Is that so? Is that the meaning of the word? I don't know. I think.
So then
DEF.
Actually, it is.
Yeah, that's the one I meant. Yeah.
You can just guess words and they make sense.
Yeah.
So this Monday when you go to meet Raila, have you already decided you want to join politics?
I had, and I've been cooked for it. Because there's a podcast I'd done with Jagero, and I said, the only way I see out of this is we must take political power. And people laughed because I had chapped lips and they're like, he's lying.
This is when you'd meet me and lie to me how you're coming on the pod, and then you never pick my calls.
Hey, Maze, and if I'm going to be honest.
Politician rule number 1.
Lie and maintain the lie.
Also, I feel like this is a good time to finally have this conversation.
I think
would have still had a conversation.
If I'm going to be honest, I felt... So it was two things. At the time, Cheque has always maintained the vibe. It was happy-go-lucky and those kinds of things. And it was leaning more towards the comedic aspect. I felt like I couldn't afford comedy at the time. There was a lot of content to be made fun of at that time. Okay. Right now, I can be castigated. You can't make fun of me. You can express disappointment. I was like, that would be a better, because it lends itself to a bit more seriousness. I was me Mwathi at the time. But also, I think the real reason, you have to give the bullshit reason.
Yeah.
But the real reason is I felt like my ego.
My ego.
I was like,
This is the first time I've heard you sharp.
Bro, I don't get Kikuyu at Ego, I'm like Igoroka.
Nilikuwa dhani ukijua kizungu yote huwezi sharab.
My ego is bruised. My ego is bruised because again, remember this brings a bit of attention, but mlikuwa mshani roast. Mlikuwa mshani roast, so nilikuwa na feel ni kama nikikuja mic check.
It will be like an ambush.
Not an ambush. Nitakuja kukua trolled. Because and I like I told you this, I tried to to stop Mic Check from being... It was the top most listened thing on my YouTube Wrapped.
Yeah.
And the way other guests were being treated, I felt like I would not have gotten... I didn't have as much gravitas at the time. I wouldn't have gotten as much status as... Because there are guests who would come and they would have... Yes, there would be banter and then there would be the seriousness.
Yeah.
So it was just like, I was insecure.
Okay.
I couldn't tell Chaxy that. But I was like, I want
Not
to avoid
now.
the podcast because not now. There's still a lot of heat and I would hate to come to a place insecure.
That's
And like, we have always been part of the gang, the YouTube gang. I just wanted... I was like, no, let me preserve this space so that I could come for vibes or whatever.
Yeah.
And I was hoping that was the episode I would have come for.
It's been vibes.
First of all, no, this is
You
vibes.
are
Yes, the next one might be
hilarious.
vibes. But
Yeah.
Chaxy once DM'd me on Instagram when I was still like a mental health guy. And he unsent that message. I went back to check.
Damn.
What did I tell you?
No, you wanted to have me on the pod back in 2024, but mapema.
I unsent it.
Yeah, it wasn't there anymore.
I don't think I'd have
because I remember
unsent
showing
it,
my
yeah.
friends.
Yeah.
I've been invited to Mic Check.
I don't think I'd... Let
And
me
then
see.
ukionyesha na
Unarudi.
kuna Mic Check. Yeah.
They have unchecked
Maybe
the mic.
Really? Let me see.
Child.
Because I don't remember talking to you on IG.
Whatever I found, you see, nilikuja hapo nikapata blank, eh.
I think you too.
Ama nilihallucinate, nilikuwa natamani tu podcast.
Jumi najua, yeah, I'm sure you hallucinate. Because I know the time when...
unatumianga drugs gani?
Mingi. Yeah. Politics is stress. Anyway, so I have a few DM questions, and then we can release you. Tumekuweka sana? Because I know you had... It's okay.
This is going to be the easiest release.
I come in peace.
I'm just saying.
Come on.
Hii tunakufikisha kwa gari.
Umekunywa sparkling
Umekunywa
water.
Chupa mbili.
Yeah.
So is it possible to separate Raila from ODM, or is ODM Raila?
It's possible, but the lines are blurred. Because he set up most of the structures and he was pivotal. He's put in the time. It's just the way, for example, you would want to separate X from Elon. We understand the concept as the business is a soul, but you see how it is. A lot of the structures, he's done a great job mobilizing and organizing. And he's done it especially for ODM, because ODM turns 20 this year. He's been in existence for 20 years with the same person at the top.
It's very enterprise. Yeah.
Please msifanye ile kitu kila mtu anafanyanga 20 or 20 DM. 20 DM.
20 DM.
Unajua vile if a company is turning 50 na inaitwa Orange Democratic Party, itaandikwa 5 Orange Democratic Party.
Ama tufanye 20 alafu tuweke kimachungwa.
I like that.
Machungwa for the zeros.
Yeah.
Machungwa sasa.
That's not too bad.
Akinda wachapa.
Utaenda Orange House.
Mimi nakujua wewe.
So ndo atachukua the beating. Then would be, how possible is it for someone, especially a young person, who just joined the party as established as ODM?
Yeah.
How possible is it for you to have an open mind?
In
a system that works the way it's worked for those many years.
The trick is to ingia with a lot of people. Because then you're a faction that they don't know what to do with. They don't have it. Our youth league...
Wait, so you're not the only one who went in at this particular time?
Dude, you know, I've never heard of the youth league until you said it.
That's
I've never heard of it.
That's the
you
thing
already
which
saw
I kept
the
on
youth
saying.
league.
No, I never heard of the youth league before until he started saying his ODM youth league.
Yes.
I'm like, who are the other members?
Yes.
Because I've never had
We
anyone.
saw the other members, Chaxy.
No. You've seen the other ones.
Check.
At least...
We saw the other members. You're the one who read the check.
I have to show you. I have to show you.
I know them.
You know them.
And now unajua wako like... Hey! No.
Yeah. I have to show you.
I can't see
It's
it.
not on camera.
I know it.
It's not on
I know what you're
camera.
about to show
You
me.
have to see.
I know
This episode, let me tell you, this episode is going to air on Sunday. KASMUEL.
I didn't see it, bro.
Najua ni watu wangapi wako kwa hiyo picha.
Give me a number then. Give me a number. How many?
KASMUEL.
Kuna suti iko na buttons mingi hapa.
KASMUEL. Raila doesn't look like he types long emails. Like if you receive a short email, you know it's from him.
Yeah.
You need
I don't think
You
he
remember I was
receives.
telling you? If the green phone rings, unaweza lenga. If the black phone rings,
That's Baba.
and you don't miss Baba's calls.
Really? Honestly, there's option of calling back.
I've never seen.
Ama yake iliangi.
Sijawahi ona. And you see, it's everyone. Baba can call everyone in this country.
Hata mimi.
If he has your number, mbona sikupigie?
As in, and things are veiled.
So that phone is specifically for Raila?
That one's for... It's the other number. If I've engaged Kichaka with this one, and it's just like, he called it when I was... He called it on December.
Does it say hello on that one? He just gives instructions.
He doesn't greet you. He's rather personable. It's like, oh, Kijana, how are you doing, my son?
Akalulu uses an iPhone or a Samsung. What does he use?
Baba uses an iPhone. I promise.
Damn.
Yeah.
So you can iMessage Baba.
You can iMessage.
He has to have
I message him the youth wing of ODM?
You guys want to put me into trouble with this. But I know. Oh my gosh. I swear this morning.
You know it.
Wait, but you had mentioned something that if you go as a
if you go as a unit to any political party, and this might be rather controversial, if you're not gonna form a party of our own, remember, if we're trying to bring up political change in 2027, we have to now have a ballot revolution because we couldn't have a bullet revolution. How then do we involve ourselves? How then do we involve ourselves in the processes that allow us to be a part of the table? Like today, there was like a whole meeting for young people in political parties that CSOs will not be. When the Office of the Registrar of Political Parties has meetings to deliberate about how they can make these things better, they will not call us. You have to be in because when you're in a political party, then you say, "Apana, hatutaki hiyo na hatutaki." And again, even the Orange Democratic Movement has been stuck in this whole thing where the leader of the Youth League is a guy you don't know. He's like in his 40s.
No, yeah, Youth League.
Yeah. So now that's the thing.
They retired from youth 5 years ago.
Okay, I'm moving on from the picture.
So niliingia place nikasema, this is the place. I know you could have your own pitfalls and nini, but this is the place where I want to change. Because even like those are the revolutionary voices like in Malema and whatnot. They started from ANC's Youth League. And ANC is an equally problematic party. Yeah. But then it gives you structure. You get to lean into the resources because where else would I address a crowd of 15,000 that I have not mobilized? I've been paid for transport, and you can almost predict the reaction.
Committee.
Facts. It's true.
And facts as well.
And facts as well.
Well, if you are transport,
yes.
So with mobilization has happened.
Yeah.
It's already organized. unaenda jela na kulanga lunch 11.
That is G.
Unaenda 12:30.
Sapa C3.
Sapa midday.
Sapa C3.
Sapa ndio 3.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
So unaenda 3:30 kama wameshiba na wanajua hakuna meeting.
So, with how ODM has morphed, over the previous government, every single time ODM loses an election, they're always in government with a handshake government. Somehow. Like, it will be a lie to say ODM are not even in the current government.
Right. They are.
Then, what exactly does ODM stand for? Because I'm so lost nowadays. You know, in theory, even when I had Sifuna here, you know, they speak very highly of the party and this is what the party stands for. You know, we stand for the people, we'll always be for the people. But in action-wise, it just feels like
very contrary.
The cheap party that is always bought, in quotes, by
ready
any
for
government.
That fall off the table.
In any government. So even as a young person, as you go into it, I'm just like, okay, what is there really a strong foundation anymore? Because I don't see it.
I see the concern. However, it's those things for... Because it's the second largest party and they have legislators, at some point you have to, unless we will have an impasse forever, we will have to agree on certain issues and pass certain laws. But we also cannot take it away that they've stood significantly for the people. Okay. They did a finance bill protest in 2023, the Sufuria Revolution. They've done the thing. So I think it's just power at those kinds of levels where the higher you go, the less clear the lines become. Yeah, because the guys at the top are not fighting each other.
Facts.
Yeah.
I'm ready to work for ODM.
And we'll come back to you.
You're my inroad.
You need
Karibu
suits,
chama
kuna day
kubwa.
ODM.
Uko sawa.
Okay, mi nataka kuwa the unseen person.
How?
And there's a lot of those.
Tunapigana na hii food bill hatujui tutafanya nini.
Right.
Wegeni visufuria kwa kichwa.
So ideas.
Yeah.
So then, okay, I know I said last,
Yeah.
but okay. 2027 is coming up. Are you
Right.
still vying?
I'm not sure.
Okay.
There's a time where I was very sure, but having seen how politics works in the country
And the system.
and just getting the votes, even getting an MCA might be hard because there's very elaborate systems that fly over our heads. You see, you have a crowd, and like, everyone has a crowd. They think they have a crowd. You hold that crowd in escrow. They're listening to you because Baba is not talking. The only person who can say he has a proper crowd is Raila Odinga.
Raila.
Like, even if you see the presidential like functions,
Yeah.
the one that he's there has a
Massive
proper.
time,
Yes,
yeah.
so it's those kinds of things, and just seeing one how expensive it is, how dangerous it is, and how fickle people can be. Yeah, so you can just sit here and say, oh, you see, I want to be the governor. I want to be the what.
it
We can't
doesn't
assume
work
that
like
those
that.
seats are vacant. You know, by the time it gets to people buying nominations for 4-5 million.
From who? From Raila?
No. From like even all political parties. And you see, like, and that's why you see sometimes Julize watu wako nominated unaona uko sijui ni Elgeyo Marakwet alafu it's a guy from it's a Kushite, for example. Yeah. As it goes high, and this is maybe nominated for MCA, then people
It gets crazy.
Kabisa. So by the time, that's why I keep on saying, let's get into these political processes because we've not managed yet to topple over the system. Let's ensure we dilute it so much so that our children will liberate the country from ourselves. But every single time, let us weaken this perpetual machine that's called the state. That's how I usually see it.
Do you think ODM will front Babu Owino for governor in Nairobi 2027?
2027 is still too far because I've seen people. Hey,
Too far.
Sana.
But of course,
Miaka mbili.
Politically.
Okay, so who
Ni kama-
What about
what-
Team? Because I've been seeing Team also talking about him wanting
Ndio
to...
nakwambia, like,
So who are the realistic options? So there's Babu, who's clearly he wants it.
Team.
There's
Team.
Team. Who else is there in ODM?
there's rumors of Sax because I've seen Sax aligning
might
with
be
the party.
defecting to ODM. Oh Lord, we are screwed.
It might be.
But I'm thinking,
Like,
why would Sachs defect to ODM when he's with UDA and UDA is still going to be in power in the next election?
are they as popular in Nairobi?
Got you.
Yeah, that's the thing. Like Nairobi is, again, when you look at the data, if we just take out the emotions out of it, we're still a very tribal country.
Yeah.
We're still a
We are
very...
Never going to
Bro, even in
stop.
2027,
Because
when
I
the
was
coalition
saying-
starts forming,
I was
you'll
saying we have
see.
at least 2 tribal elections before we actually land, and then
Yeah.
our generation comes in.
Or
So we
even
hope
more.
that, yeah.
Even
But if you look at it, there's zones where, you know, here,
It's done.
Kisses will negotiate for the Dagoretti North.
Yeah.
Embakasi North. There you don't even campaign in Kiswahili or you campaign in Kikuyu.
Kikuyu.
In wherever. If you're trying to get like Westlands, you know it's generally a Lunje area. Kibra, you know it's a Jang area. And Langata and Karen, those kinds of. So you just sit down and you map these things so that you don't find yourself wanting to vie in Kibra. Naweza kuambia sahi utatoa wapi.
Mi nikitry.
Utatoa wapi.
Wenda tu
Kama si
Migori
uko Kehancha.
Uweze.
Hata niongeze maswali. Wacha leo.
Mi naona utupatie pesa. Tufanye hii documentary yake akitry. Alafu tuuzie Netflix. Si tukule kwanza.
Ah, man.
Yeah, so it's kind of crazy to make any predictions for 2027. It's still quite
Too
far.
early. Okay. Thank you so much for honoring our invite, man.
Thanks for
Umona,
having me.
I feel like I think we've covered like a quarter of what we thought we'd cover.
Yeah.
But also first of many, bro.
Yes,
Thank you for honoring
yes.
our invite.
No, man,
I hope you're
nice.
able to come again.
Looking forward to
Yeah.
it.
And us is just to document this story.
Alafu next time tuna agree hakuna mtu anavaa suti.
Yeah.
Sasa wewe kuja umevaa casual.
Kwani
Do some
nimebo?
jeans.
Wewe
and a
umaimuona
shirt.
na casual.
Kwani-
Itabaki sita si tumetafuta suti.
Ama tuende hapana tuifanye kwa gym, to shoot kwa gym.
Ooh.
Eh.
But Mwass hapo tu.
I don't know.
Mariah
Si
na
mimi na
wewe.
shoot intro kwa nimetoka. We are marching.
Clearly you have the potential. Just take. Why are you running?
Yeah.
Why are you running?
Why are you running?
Even the running is a bit of a stretch.
You're running your mouth.
Unless that.
Namaliza.
Oh Lord.
Yeah, thank you, my bro.
Oh, man, I really appreciate it.
Yeah,
And
this
you guys
was
have been
really
doing such a
nice.
great job, man.
Thank you.
I
Thank
think
you.
it's pivotal for our generation where there's conversations that could be uncomfortable, there's conversations but unnecessary. And you guys don't shy away from having them. Yeah, and I'm grateful for the opportunity.
Thank you.
Hopefully we see this grow into, I hope it stays like a podcast.
It
or it
will
grows
stay
into a media house
for-
and you have a podcasting wing.
Yeah, for
Go
sure.
to hapo hivyo mwasa
The goal.
Mimi nataka kwanza contract yangu itakuwa nakuja job 1 hour 37 minutes
Are
per
you
day.
mad?
Ni sawa tu. Atalipo for 1 hour.
Sisikie, lakini nakuja na ideas 5.
Tunasema
Hashtag idea.
Tunasema best 1 hour of today. But do you think Baba would be available to
want to
speak to us?
come.
It would be nice. I could ask. I think he's still not back in the country. Could be in Dubs right now.
We could go to wherever.
Because the last time Sifuna was here, I was like, set it up, but it's never happened. And he was
Also-
like, Aluliza, are you flexible to shoot from anywhere?
Yeah,
We are
because
like,
that's the other thing. Because
we're
his
flexible.
schedule,
This crazy.
I can
Baba's
imagine.
schedule is the schedule
Kas.
of a finance bro who's 32 working in maybe JP Morgan and Chase.
That's wild.
Yeah, because I did a day. I can't keep up. The man is 80 now. I remember I did. So he wakes up at 5 and does his run thing.
No skill.
Mimi
Yeah.
amka 5 kojoa kurudi bed.
So he wakes up at 5 and goes to the gym and does he do a 5K walk and comes back and then does his physicals and like
Mbona
his
mtu alipe
vitals for
5k
sour.
kutembea? Si utembee tu.
Kama uko na-
Waste of
okay.
money.
So,
Then he does breakfast at around, and by the time it's breakfast, there are people who are trying to come to the house and meet him, catch him before breakfast. He does a 6 to like a 6:30, then or 7:30 sometimes, and he's a family man, proper family man. Then he leaves and goes to the first office.
Ajaoga.
Then amefanya hiyo kitu, amesetiwa
kutoka gym
up,
anaoga.
and like there's a very, very elaborate support system around him.
for him, yeah.
That the way you see, and I think we don't talk about Mama Ida Odinga enough, or Winnie or Junior. Like if you see them around that Raila ecosystem,
They look like a very concrete family unit. Like
they are solid, a good one, and they're actually very kind people. So then that you get into the convoy, he goes to the first office, the second office, third office. He goes to like have meetings with certain people. Like the day I was with him, he was going to meet SK. You see the way you go to a media station, you have to say, oh, mini nani, oh, akuliza ID for him.
It's
the gates,
like open the
barriers
gates,
opens
bro.
you from where stuff lines out. He goes, talks to the CEO, so you talk about things, and then he has a short meeting, and then comes back. He eats also at very, very specific times, very specific meals. If it's fish, very specific. Then he goes to the AUC office, meets certain people from the party there, and those discussions, talks to the team. This is like 9:30 p.m.
Bro.
PM.
He has a standing meeting with the team, and it's like, where are we? Make phone calls, takes a few meetings. Nilikuwa nachana na Baba at like 10:30, and he was still going to Serena for another meeting.
Hakuna point where he's like, guys, let me nap.
Rinse, repeat.
Can never be me.
And I've like been with him in the same car. So sikwa, where's it nap? Mimi niko hivi.
Yako kwa simu tu
Mzee
na
ako
next
hivi.
meeting.
Una blink 17
Anaangalia
seconds.
like, and he's such a football guy. Unaona akiangalia
Arsenal.
scores za nini, Arsenal. Ako hivi anakwambia stories and he has stories for days.
Yeah.
Rinse, repeat.
Because
Crazy.
what a life he's lived and everything he's done, both positive, negative, whichever way you look at it, I'm just like, what a moment that would be for us to document.
If you sat down with him, and I feel he's at the point where he wants to give. So I'll ask. I'll promise to ask.
Please.
Maybe we're not
Ask.
even asking for an autobiography.
Just ask.
documentary.
Yeah.
And then if he says yes,
Yes.
we'll
Kwanza
pull up
Baba,
whenever.
Baba, we can do like as a series.
Yeah.
4-part series.
No, it will be cool.
So please ask.
It would
Because
be so
for me, I'm
good.
just like, it would be nice to document that and have it.
Yeah, but
for
also
future
just
generations.
have that in our language. Because I feel like
Of
we know him.
course.
We know him through Fasi Simulizi.
Yeah.
We know what we've seen about him in
Yeah.
the news. Like, we want to hear you
Yeah.
the way we I don't know if that makes sense.
Yeah,
Like,
I guess so.
like as young people, what we don't know.
I'll be very honest with you. Like,
Yeah.
if I had even a chance to speak to Baba, I don't think we want to talk about things that we already know.
Yeah.
But I'm like, I really want to just know
Just
the man.
intrigued, exactly.
Like, I really
Him
just
as a
want to know the man.
person,
Like, you as a
not
human
a
being,
politician.
Baba is a system. The day now we are spotted like we're doing the chopper ride. He knows he looks at the ground and he tells you this is this power station. It generates this many kilowatt hours. This is the problem. This browning is caused by this. When we were with Kibaki, we caught the hyacinth used to reach here. He looks at the map and he knows the
Engineer for real.
Yeah.
It would be an I'll ask him.
Please ask, and then
I promise to ask.
We see what happens.
Yeah.
So, my bro, you have a good one.
Goodbye again, Masama.
All the
Bye,
best.
come out.
I know.
Sisi kutoka
Ule
kwenda.
Happy Sabbath.
Yeah.
Kwa nini?
Ala.
Sema.
No,
Hiyo kitu
hiyo ni
nakasa,
yako. Happy Sabbath.
Yeah.
Si tunakuwish tu.
Yeah.
You're the most SDA looking.
Nini?
Sawa.
Kwani-
And hopefully-
Nimeandikwa soya hapa. What is it?
And hopefully after hapa, unaweza enda tu hata usudi hata ubreathe tu in.
Ai.
Relax, bro.
Ai.
Jamaneni.
Yeah, relax.
The
Amesema
night
ni hii
is
ama
still
birthday
young.
suit. Na hurumia watu unaendanga gym yako.
The night is still young.
Ama unaendanga before ifunguliwe.
Anyway, KASMUEL episode 237. We are
My friend. Over 26. This is
This is the Brunch Club.
Over 26. Welcome back to
The mics are closed.
Now, when you watch it, you'll understand.